All right, welcome out everyone to what could potentially be our final week of season 6 of RGL Highlander. Up for grabs is a $1,000 prize pool that two teams will be duking it out for. Our first team, Man Crush Monday. For many of these players, this is potentially the highest peak they've ever reached in Highlander to take home that number 1 spot. And of course, looking to stop them is Krusty Krab eSports, a roster that contains some of our perennial Highlander champions throughout the years. Well, my name is Voxday, and I'm joined by Zagron, Alto, and of course, behind the scenes rather, Dolphin. How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Excited about here for this grand finals. We got Man Crush Monday versus Krusty Krab. This is essentially what the season's boiled down to. Everyone kind of knew these two teams would be in here fighting for that big prize pool, like you mentioned. And they have met twice already. Man Crush Monday taking that playoff match earlier in the upper bracket finals, sending Krusty Krab to lower bracket. It was a 2-0 sweep, although a close one at that. So both these teams definitely have a lot to prove here. And Krusty Krab, they're going to need to win more than just once if they want to take that trophy. But Man Crush, they have a chance to end it here.
Right, and just as Zag mentioned, I think one of the most surprising things about this season is exactly how it turned out. Where Krusty Krab went into the season as heavy favorites to win, as Vox mentioned in the opening, having so many of those perennial Highlander contenders, but roster troubles and some unexpected, drops in performance have led them to be coming up from the lower bracket here. MCM coming in with the undefeated record in playoffs so far, despite Krusty Krab having won in the regular season. MCM won their match in the upper bracket finals, meaning that there's going to be a lot for Krusty Krab to prove here. Going to have to prove that with their new and arguably weaker roster, they can still compete with the longtime vets on MCM.
Yeah, it's hard. It's kind of weird coming into this thinking of MCM as favorites. Obviously they're a really strong team. They were never in doubt as the number 2 team coming into the season, but you've grown accustomed to kind of seeing them in that second or third place spot because there's just been that team that's slightly above. And you do have to mention the different roster from Krusty Krab, but I also think you can't take away what MCM has done. The fact that they were able to capitalize and take the W in really important playoff match. They're going to be working to close it out here, but I don't know. It's anybody's game.
And you can also argue that MCM, they've brought the strongest roster they've ever had in Highlander to this grand final this season. They've played absolutely out of their minds. They're definitely, I would say, I would give them the favorite status coming into this match. So if we want to run down the rosters real quick, we can let you know about those MCM players who are looking to take it all. We got Triple on Scout, Penguin on Soldier, Marty on Pyro, RJ on Demo, Zukima on Heavy, Aaron on Engineer, Rogue on Medic, Watterson on Sniper, and Evil on Spy.
Coming in on Krusty Krab, we're looking at Syath on Scout, Amanda Panda 45 Woot, also known as JJ Slim, on Soldier, Billy Saurus on Pyro, Jared on Demo, Kresnik on Heavy, there's that K&D combo we mentioned, Exa on Engineer, Blake on Medic, Demento on Sniper, and Vizzy on Spy. So definitely a ton of names in this match that, if you've been following Highlander for any time between, this past season to almost 4 years ago back in UGC, you'll have heard some of these, but a couple of new names as well, and I think that might be one of the more interesting things to talk about.
Yeah, there's a ton of people coming into Invite now. I mean, even if you want to go back to some of the other teams that made playoffs, not just the ones in the grand finals, there's so much new blood in Highlander, and it's actually very exciting to see players like Blake, like Vizzy, that coming into the season, to be frank, and I'd fallen out of the Highlander scene a little bit, but I didn't know their names, and now here they are competing for a grand final victory, or I guess a grand final reset, which we should discuss a little bit later, and a chance really for a prize pool that I mean that's some nice money to pad your pockets with.
Yeah, definitely. These teams are going to be looking to get it on these 3 maps right here. We've done the pick ban. We know what we're going to be playing here. You might see it in the stream title. For the map pick ban, we can run down. Krusty Krab started out with a product ban. Makes sense. You don't want to play against Watterson Sniper. MCM followed up with a Lakeside ban, which also makes sense. You don't want to play against Candy's Bathhold. And now we are going to be on a Vigil starting out here, which is Man Crush Monday's pick. A pick that they are very comfortable with and that Krusty Krab has struggled with.
Yeah, struggled is an understatement, where Krusty Krab went 6-1 in the regular season, losing their only match on Vigil, but not to Man Crush Monday or any other playoffs team, but to I Hate Mondays, the advanced move-up team who really struggled elsewhere in the season, yet managed to pull off a, extremely surprising upset win on this map. And I mean, when you consider how old a lot of these players are and how new Vigil is in the comp rotation, it makes a lot of sense because you see that a lot of the old, strats and muscle memory still aren't, fully set in on this map yet. You're seeing some changes in how points are being held, exactly where you're going to push, compare that to a point like Upward, right? Where most comp players have been playing since their first experiences, all the motions, you know how to stand when you're pushing into upper last. You know where to stand on hill to not get sniped, and just those little things, can add up in a big way over the course of a long match. But MCM seems to have embraced Vigil entirely. But then after that, we see Krusty Krab picking Ashville, which again I think is a very good option, just as they have a very strong flank led by Syath. Probably, I'd say, the best scout in Invite. I don't think you can contest much of that. And it's a good Koth map for minimizing sniper impact, followed by a Swiftwater ban, which they admitted to being very weak at. And then we see MCM picking Steel as the tiebreaker.
And they had a choice between Steel and Upwards, so they did opt for that Steel pick, and that's MCM's, that's their golden goose in the end if Candy or Krusty Krab does take that Asheville pick, which I would favor them on. So, Vox, tell me a bit why you think the maps turned out why they did.
Yeah, I got some insight speaking to some of the MCM players, and although some of the players aren't huge favorites of the map, as it looks like we did get the ready ups, we're going to be starting Vigil very soon, even though they're not a huge fan of the maps, they know that they were able to pick to their strengths and pick to their advantages. So even if I'll say Watterson was not a huge fan of playing Steel because, it's not a great sniper map, they know from their other matchup and having watched Krusty Krab play Steel, they have that advantage. So they really did think critically to pick to their strengths rather than just like, well, I prefer playing Upwards, so we're going to take that. That really could be a huge boon for them in this.
And one thing, just as we've got 30 seconds left in setup, that I do want to bring out, especially for some of our viewers that may not have been following us throughout the entire season, is that a lot of you may have heard the name Demento, but he is traditionally a spy player. And we talked about it a lot last week, so we didn't want to keep harping on it. But the big thing we've noticed is that Demento is now playing sniper, and that's the kind of sniper difference that we've been alluding to in these map picks, where he has. I'd argue, I think we can all say he's got the raw aim to snipe at this level. But like we saw the last time he played, there was just a slight difference in the sniper experience, and that's going to be something to look for.
Yep, that said, we are out of the gates here on Vigil. Coming out, first map of the Invite Season 6 Grand Finals. Let's go. We got Krusty Krab on attack first, while MCM is going to be defending. They're holding it pretty standard, gun back on the box, sniper next to it, and just peeking out for some spam. There are crit sticky traps out here for MCM, so we're going to see if they can get anyone. Jarrett's right next to one, and it gets popped. Does damage to Kresnik, won't take any players down. So Kart's slowly getting pushed up, and the retreat from the defenses here, all very standard so far.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Vigil plays out. I really want Krusty Krab to come out strong because, as we mentioned, this was a weak spot for them, but that means they have an opportunity to kind of slap MCM in the face because it's been a long time since that match. They've had a lot of time to practice and scrim, so you don't know, and there goes Demento starting off with the snipe onto Watterson, so potential opening here on second. But this could work well for that slap in the face.
Yeah, sniper pick really big. We're going to see MCM walk up to the lower hill right now with their medic and combo. Going to try and get this Uber force. Stickies do get detonated, so there's space to walk up. Jarrett's looking to take the trade and doing a lot of damage as well. Marty at 1 HP has to retreat. Here's the counter Uber with no pyro to deflect. It is better for the side of MCM, so they're going to be pushing those players back. But all of Krusty Krab is going to make it out fine, except the flank members who died on cart in the middle of that.
Yeah, and this gives MCM an opportunity to hold now, but Jarrett gets a little bit aggressive as MCM still able to stabilize. And usually in the post Uber, if you can get some spacing as the offensive team, you can potentially still turn that into a win. But it looks like with MCM 9 players up, gun at level 3, they really don't need to sweat it just yet.
Yeah, and Krusty Krab, their Uber didn't get much. They didn't get the positioning they wanted, so they rotated down to tunnel here. A lot of players trying to get this cart a bit pushed out. It does get to that exit of the tunnel where you want it when you push over a hill, and now they rotated back to the hill. They like to push over this dry. No Uber for either team, although Blake is on 90.
Oh, and there goes Zakima. That could be a potential member to look out for. And Watterson going down too. This Uber for Rogue, it's not there just yet. Here comes Jarrett, but Rogue's just going to be able to sit there and build. Oh, he pops it with about 50 HP. But now comes the important part. Can Krusty Krab collapse in this post Uber?
They're looking pretty good here. They have good health on their Scout and Demo Man. Scythe running forward helps to take out Marty with those sticky bombs, and it's going to be a collapse over hill. The heavy is in. Kresnik and Jarrett combining for damage. Gonna get it reeled back as Jarrett's stickies find Marty and Penguin. Extra running in, winning that NG duel, and the hill is overtaken by Krusty Krab. They're going to take this point cleanly with that repush. That's what you're looking for with that post-Uber positioning. And Scythe on the chase, trying to find something on the back out. Wants to get Zuki, and will get him with the help of Demento's headshot. So that's a big pick coming forward into the third snowball.
And this is a little scary for MCM now because Krusty Krab have a lot of space on third. They've got to get these spawners. Aaron is just spawning now, so there's absolutely not going to be a gun, I think, by the time Krusty Krab are ready to push this. Especially, Ubers are even, and Jarrett goes down. That might buy MCM some time, although maybe not too much.
It's going to buy him that time because Jarrett has to spawn him back. It was a nice sticky and cleaver combo out of RJ and Triple there to take Jarrett down. Just took a burst of damage. So that will be a bit of a stall on the push. Both medics on Uber now, and Aaron does have a chance to set up his gun here. Hasn't exactly put it down yet. It looks like it's going to be on the normal crate spot as Krusty Krab looking to go lower now that Jarrett is back up. Pyro walking up front, and they're going to pop Uber first.
And Rogue still holding on to his milking. There goes the pop onto RJ. He's making sure he keeps that demo alive, and it's going to be a solo on him. Zukima a little bit further out, but no worries to just put a little pressure out on the other side of the flank. So MCM are doing a good job at holding third despite the initial danger, and I think it does come out to that Jarrett pick that we mentioned, although Krusty Krab continuing to put pressure and trying to get this cart up that hill.
One big problem right now is that the flank control is fully in the hands of MCM. They have tons of players here, but they got to get on the cart because Kresnik is solo pushing that up the hill. That's such a big benchmark to get that up. Even if they do lose 3-4 players here, that is worth it for the side of Krusty Krab. The cart is up the hill, and they even forced out the banner of Penguin. So really interesting play there. Flank is still going to be held by MCM, but Krusty Krab will be fine with that. Now we're going to see Zukima locked to this cart, so now he can't help flank out as much as he was.
Well, 5 seconds until the cart starts moving backwards. Here comes Vizzy, hiding off on the other side. Demento getting another shot onto Watterson. The cart starts to roll backwards. I think
Vizzy.
If you're Vizzy, he
needed to go on cart. He got scorched shotted while invisible, so that's unfortunate. But Demento railing off headshots onto Watterson and Zukima from this right side area. Big picks, now the cart can get pushed up. Jarrett is tanking the beam right now and is going to get the Uber popped onto him. Marty went down to his snipe, so he won't be able to reflect this. The Uber is better for MCM, but they've lost players and health. They're going to have to look to regroup here.
Well, cart is still at the lower part of that hill. Demento doing a really great job. Want to shout that out, of course. And as I say that, Evil takes him down with the revolver. So good job, Evil.
3K there.
Yeah, there goes JJ Slim or Amanda Panda. Zukima maybe a little bit too aggressive. Got to be careful.
He's got the support of Triple. He's perfectly fine to take care of Jarrett there. And Evil there made the really big play because flank was overrun for the side of MCM. They were losing positioning, but that collapse from Evil helped them get 3 revolver cleanup kills and take this ground back. Now Zukima's back up, fully overhealed. Now that the cart's all the way back down the hill, he can go up back on the cliff. So it's a really strong hold for MCM here, and Krusty Krab is really struggling to break it. Vigil third is normally one of the easier 2 points of the map to take, so the fact they're struggling here doesn't bode well for them.
Yeah, and this is a rough start now for Krusty Krab. They were looking really good after first and second, and they had all that momentum, and now, I'm not going to say the team is like their mumble environment has gone sour, but this is definitely something that can kind of sour your your feelings coming into this match. These are experienced players. I don't expect that it'll affect them too much, but if anything, it just builds MCM's confidence as they go through to take their map pick.
Evil now on a 6K. I think he's backstabbed Jarrett and then revolver Jarrett on his spawn, so really big play by him to keep that Dome Man down. This flank control from MCM is the MVP of the match so far. Zukima is doing a great job with Triple and Marty here on the rotations. They're getting Watterson over here sometimes. RJ's lobbing stickies to help clean up when he needs to. It's so oppressive to play against, and MCM are playing this point so well, better than anyone I've ever seen play this map. Explains why they favor it so much, so really big plays from them to keep this defense stable. RJ with an 8K right now.
Wow, those are huge numbers. RJ really coming up big. They used Exile, MCM did, at one point in the playoffs because RJ wasn't able to play, and really has just slid right back in. Of course, he's been playing with them all season, but looking really good. Demento, look at him though. He's underneath, looking for a really cheeky shot.
That's a good
finds
one.
Marty. Yeah,
that's a really big pick. That
play.
opens so much room for spam, rockets, spy backstabs with flank pressure. We're going to see what Krusty Krab do. They're going to Uber through, and there's the spy backstab onto Zukima. Uber is in through main here. Gun is wrangled so it doesn't go down. Billy and Vizzy get traded back on. Evil is the counter, but we have the better Uber for MCM with the banner as well. So they're going to be keeping position here, although they have lost one extra player. Banner's doing a lot of work though.
I think Waterson's kill onto Billy Saurus helped out MCM a lot, holding on to this, but I think it'll finally crumble here. Maybe not, as Triple finds 2 kills. He's going to go down to X's gun, but MCM still have a chance here. These next 10 seconds will be crucial, and they might have pushed them off.
Penguin doing a good job getting that sniper pick onto Dementos. Now his team can run out and clean up the cart. They were scared of that threat, so another hold coming out from MCM, and they're going to have Uber advantage off the back of this one. Gun getting spammed by JJ, and it will go down. They're just trying to get stacked on cart. Now JJ bombing in, and reflected by Marty before he can get the last crucial rocket. Knife's going to stay alive, but the cart is almost up that hill once again. Krusty Krab are losing players, but that heavy is still on the cart, and they're going to be able to take this. MCM did lose 3, and they are going to lose the point, but 8 minutes through 3 is amazing for them, and they kept Rogue alive with Uber, so this is great for MCM.
Yeah, and what's important too is I think you can be tempted if you're Rogue or, you know, the combo just to use there on third, like, oh, maybe we can stop them there. I think it's smarter. You already have 8 minutes to just keep that Uber for last and know that you can go into it with even Ubers, because of course Krusty Krab will have it by that point. Vizzy is lurking in the back line, calming for his team. We'll see in a little bit if he's able to make a play, but Marty, of course, going to be aware of that.
That's an incomplete check, though. You got to check that corner. He is going to be able to call Waterson's off angle here, so we're going to see Demento try to contest it in just a second. They both take a shot, neither hits. It's going to be important here, and there's Vizzy getting caught out, and there's Waterson winning that SVS onto Demento. So big plays from them. Vizzy and Exa going down. That's a cart pusher and a spy, not the biggest deal. But Krusty Krab are on full Uber here, and they might have to wait for that cart pusher to be back before they decide to take this push, so they are wasting a bit of time.
Yeah, and I think the way Krusty Krab chooses to push is going to be important. There is a sticky trap right outside of that lobby room that they're in, but Blake's going to use early. Here comes onto Jarrett. The gun needs to stay alive here, but Krusty Krab are getting good position in.
Jarrett
Billy
can't focus it.
Down.
He can't get any stickies on it, so that is going to stay up the entire time, getting wrangled. Good play by him. Zukima on that flank heavy. We missed a bit of a flank push coming through from the entirety of the MCM right side, and they got a lot of kills, a lot of cleanup there. So the only casualty really is Marty, and Triple just went down at the end, went a bit too aggressive, and there's Evil getting caught out as well. So a bit overstaying their welcome, but it's still a solid hold. They deny the Uber, and the gun is still there. So a lot more work for Krusty Krab to do here.
Yeah, and Evil going down isn't too bad. Marty's already respawned. Triple should be on the way, but oh, there goes some more kills. Jarrett and Demento. Jarrett being the big one, I think, going down there. So MCM are again stabilizing, and even if they lose this at this point, they're still super happy about this time. So the fact that they're even continuing to bleed, let's say another 30 seconds to a minute, it's hard to say. You know, we'll have to see their offense. We haven't seen MCM's yet this matchup, but you've got to go into this super confidently when you're setting a potentially like 12-minute defense.
Big shout out to the combo and engineer target focusing on that team right there, but now it's going to be another Uber coming in. MCM are going to pop in retaliation. Gun finally gets sapped this time, so it will go down mid-Uber, but Waterson's firing up headshots, finds Jarrett on a 5k, Zukima on a 7k, RJ on an 11k, and it's a complete wipe. Only Aaron was the casualty because Gun got sapped, but that's like a 6-for-1 for MCM's defense, and they are going to have another even Uber situation. They do have to rebuild Gun, but it's been a perfect defense so far.
Yeah, and honestly, that was looking a little Monka when Aaron went down, and so did the gun. I was like, okay, you know what? That's a good start for Krusty Krab. But then the collapse happened. As you mentioned, Waterson ringing out the headshots, and RJ getting involved too. And for Krusty Krab, it is just running into a brick wall over and over. And there goes Waterson getting the domination on Demento. Demento started off strong, but maybe Waterson feels more comfortable defending these later points, because there he goes. Vizzy did get 2, but it's just being responded.
Yeah, it did shut down Zukima, though, was on a massive kill streak. Here is the Uber in from Krusty Krab. It's going to be pretty much a solo onto side here as Jared got sniped again by Waterson, and they do manage to get a lot of picks this time. It's going to be a jump in. Demento finally wins that SBS. Gun is now going down to that bomb, and a Krusty Krab here, they are piling on the cart. Only soldier left, and they will not get that denied. Just heavy, can't get on the cart. Krusty Krab are going to take that point capture, but 11:42, that's such a good time for MCM to set on Vigil. On Vigil, your average times are, anywhere between 6 and 8 minutes, so almost 12 minutes is perfect for them.
I just want to throw something real quick before we bring Alto in. Rogue healed Vizzy at the end, which allowed him to get the backstab onto RJ, which was just funny to see, but go ahead, Alto.
Yeah, there's so many like micro plays that I want to talk about that ultimately just didn't end up mattering because of how solid MCM's combo was playing that. And that's really, you know, the story of that. We saw Demento finding sniper picks. You know, we saw him finding those picks onto Marty a lot of the times, but Vigil is a map where it really feels like, you know, you need to snowball, right? And they were never able to get that definitive push off that they could really get a lot of momentum off of. You know, they're just barely edging out these fights, and they come when they can finally find these picks, right? When they can finally dislodge Zukima from flank, when RJ finally goes down after, I don't think he died the entire round up until he got stabbed on last there. And 12 minutes is such a daunting time to hold. You know, you really need to just completely wall them. I'd argue it's easier to just hard hold second at that point, but we're really going to need to see some, like, immortal gameplay coming out of the Krusty Krab combo here if they're going to want to take this halfback.
Yep, and it looks like MCM, they're not wasting any time. Already got players out on the hill here on their attack. Billy going to go down. The trade is Marty, so both Pyros not having the best time so far. RJ is really far up, and Waterson finds that quick scope onto Busy, so he's a frontline sniper right now. This is a Waterson classic, and he's going to be already on the base of hill. This is a very blazing pace to set so far. It's only first, you know, this is expected, but that's a lot to go off of. And Evil just walked straight up to Demento. No one was looking for it, so that's a sniper I had to work with now for MCM.
Yeah, well, the pick classes we know for MCM, so strong. Waterson, I don't even want to hear him talk about that shot later, but Vizzy is behind right now, calming Waterson's position, but actually the Uber is going to be coming over the hill. No pressure to push pop yet for Blake. He does end up using, and right now it's looking better for Krusty Krab. Just
Enforcer
virtue.
Cleanup onto Zuki and Waterson from Busy. Gets a lot of cleanup in that window area, so Krusty Krab doing a good job to repel that. They do have about a 5-10% dissad, not going to be too much to work with, but they did keep the post-Uber positioning, so they are going to be able to hold this hill. Kresnik was the only casualty. It's heavy, big, slow, so they will be fine so far. Billy getting that pick onto Evil as well, will be respawning shortly. And it's just another standard hold. It's probably going to be some dry Uber pressure in the tunnel coming from MCM. They have everyone rotated here, buffing Waterson. Gonna hit a shot onto JJ, but doesn't kill him. It's just a body shot. Zuki gonna get his fists to get him out of there, and it will be just another soft reset. Looks like the teams are gonna just wait for Uber here, both on about 75%.
Yeah, and here goes Evil behind. He's gonna start those comms and get ready to get a sap on that gun when the Uber comes in. Coming up in just a few seconds, Rogue at 95, Blake gonna have
Banners
as
popped
well.
preemptively for the defense. They're gonna use it before their Uber, try and get some pressure. Jarrett is walking up with it, but Krusty Krab doesn't look like they were ready for that play together. That's kind of sitting behind the house, not really fighting anyone. Spies on the gun, and here's the counter Uber after the banner just ran out. Gonna be pressure in for RJ as Vizzy and JJ are casualties so far, but the Krusty Krab combo are pushing back MCM. Later Uber is better for them in this situation as they get position of this hill. A bit of a wasted banner, but they did position well enough to hold that defense.
Great juggle onto RJ and Rogue. The combo, including Billy Saurus, made sure that Uber could get nothing. And even though Evil saps the gun, MCM just were not forward enough to do anything about it. Evil gets another sap. He's going to try to gun it down, and he's successful as the push comes from lower for MCM. The picks are going either way. We'll have to see who comes out on top of this one. But MCM have done like the initial work. Now they just need to finish it off.
Yep, and it will be Krusty Krab trying to reset here. They know they have a really daunting time ahead of them, so they want to get every moment out of this point that they can. Blake has been building pretty well as a 20% advantage to work with. They just need to get their gun and their players back up. They were 3 down until just now, so MCM looking to walk up this hill, RJ leading the way, and no one's stopping him yet until Demento shoots him in the head and takes him down. That will help Krusty Krab get the reset. Evil, though, gonna decloak onto Demento and get that kill, but Zuki and Evil are trades on that one. So, here's the bomb in late from Penguin, gonna get Enforcer in the sky, and that will be the sack not successful.
Impressive hold so far for Krusty Krab. This is better than MCM's hold. Of course, third was the real problem for Krusty Krab. So right now, MCM are falling behind in terms of pacing. They do have 100%. They could potentially wait for Aaron just as the cart pusher, as Watterson also goes down too. But Evil getting ready to decloak, do something for the gun. He's caught out, and MCM are struggling to find an opening for this Uber.
They're going to put all their players through tunnel into cart now. It's pretty close. They figured, why not? Sticky's onto the gun. Banner as well in the middle of this for Krusty Krab, and they are collapsing onto this tunnel push. It's not going very well, but they did get the gun. Now it's all about the post positioning. Zukima at the tunnel here, trying to get work done, trying to get revenge created by the engineer. No players have died yet in this push, but MCM health bars are getting lower and lower. Watterson going down, Penguin going down. Evil pushed out of the fight, and Marty going to air blast Kresnik back into spawn. So repush from tunnel here as both teams are jockeying for position. It's still all tunnel for MCM, and they're going to be looking to fight here, but Vizzy stab onto Zukima. No heavy means no meatball to absorb all that tunnel damage, and the hold again stands for Krusty Krab.
Yeah, this is starting to get a little rough. Rogue does now technically have an advantage, but MCM of course won't be aware of that. They'll think they maybe have a second or two, but I guess Rogue having a little bit better build time. Nothing that I think they're going to be able to take advantage of. Really, it comes down to someone's gotta make the opening play, the opening pick. Evil's going to get found out yet again. Yeah.
Watterson's going for the God Shot. He's far forward, and RJ's going to be up there with them. Both spies going down in this exchange so far, but it's just solos onto the Demo Man. Nothing really happening so far. No damage has gone down. Watterson will get double piped though, so Jarrett, great job by him. And Demento finds a snipe onto Marty. Here's the sack in from Penguin. Keep running it through side tunnel, and Triple does find the kill onto Billy. Gun goes down as well in this, and finally, for the first time, it looks like MCM have some hill positioning. They're going to push RJ, they're going to push Zukima, but Zukima is low. Has to back up. Blake gets an arrow onto Evil, so no spy to worry about yet again. And the demo is still here. Zukima is now healed up. Watterson on the front lines as well, but the health is decreasing. Busy, Jarrett combining for 3 kills. That Enforcer getting another one down, and there's JJ from the side, gonna clean that one up. Another full hold from Krusty Krab. Rogue didn't die, but they have to reset yet again.
And Exa really unsung hero right now. As soon as those guns go down, another one goes back up. And I think part of that is that level 3 dispenser hasn't been touched, and we always like to joke about dispenser pick push. Honestly, a dispenser pick sounds pretty good for MCM right about now. Blake on Uber. As Watterson finds Jarrett, okay, Rogue's about to they have to be able to do something with this. There's 2 minutes left just to get this point.
They want to get this fast, this force deep, so that the Demo Man doesn't matter, but they will not find it, and that's going to be a full Uber dis sad. MCM are going to take this one uphill. This should be the best chance they've had, and they should definitely get this if they want a chance. They're going to pop first, but Banner is in retaliation, and Krusty Krab going to try to kite backwards, and they're going to find 1 kill, but the Uber is still up. They haven't found that kill just yet. Snipe onto RJ from Demento in the back. That's going to be big for the post. Banner finally runs out, and the gun is untouched. Even a full Uber ad. MCM haven't been able to push up this hill yet. It's so disappointing from them after their first half. They're going to have to reset again, and they're not going to have Uber ad.
It's just wild. I don't understand how you have 8 players up, I think, and still only RJ is the one in on the Uber going over the hill. I know that you want people in tunnel as well.
Yeah, that's how you use a banner on defense.
Yeah, for sure. MCM, I don't think they're calling focus fires or something like that. The gun should go down yet again.
Drive pushing here, but Blake's gonna have Uber 97, 98. He's so low, and he gets the pop up in time. Gonna save as many players as he can on this sack. That force is what MCM wanted, as Rogue is going to have soon. But the players are down. Kresnik, JJ, Demento, and Vizzy all losing their lives in that exchange. Make that Evil going down in trade. But Kresnik also lost his life, so finally that will be the volunteer back out from Krusty Krab. They're going to have Uber dis ad, but they took that 12-minute time and shaved 8 minutes off in 2 points.
That's fantastic.
Unless MCM can snowball this Uber directly into second, then it's looking close. It's looking very close.
Yeah, 4 minutes, still you're happy with that amount of time, probably, to push third and last.
First.
Interesting. Yeah, well, they're pushing him back. Zukima trying to do some work. He did get taken out by Kresnik. The Uber use, they got some space out of it. Blake is still pretty far away to have it.
Kresnik got Zuki, Penguin, and Watterson, so even though he's being chased out now, getting some help from Triple onto Marty, just the Pyro back here, and Kresnik will go down. That's a pretty big pick for MCM. They're going to have Uber disad though. Blake did back out of second, so he's going to live. Looks like they're going to give this one up. They don't like their player disad, and they're going to say we can hold this Uber on last, much like Krusty Krab did in that third cat. 3.5 minutes. Forget everything that happened in the past 15 minutes. This is normal right now. Like, this is standard.
Yeah, it's crazy that that we've kind of equalized to this point. Rogue, as mentioned, going to be on a bit of a disad. So unless like Vizzy can find a pick or Demento, yeah, Demento just goes down, so Rogue doesn't have to worry about the sniper.
And he just takes down the gun before it's done building, so delaying that's big. The MCM combo is in the right room right now. They're in flank with 100% Uber going to look to walk in. They find a pick onto, excuse me, they find a pick onto Demento, but yeah, they're going to have to use very early here. They did lose 2 players. Gun is level 1 getting wrangled, and the air blast is in from Billy Saurus here. RJ's kind of stuck, but he will be able to get out unless he gets juggled. 1 rocket, and he gets backstabbed on the back, so Vizzy getting Zuki and RJ there. More big plays from him. He's been playing fantastically so far, and that will be another reset coming out. 2.5 minutes left. Both medics are going to be close to even Uber, and Gun is going to get built this time, so unsuccessful push for MCM there. Krusty Krab will take that scrappy win.
Yeah, MCM did kind of have a chance. They had some low health on the Krusty Krab players when they did push the room, but unfortunately they lost a couple of their own and weren't able to capitalize.
But here's the stack. They're gonna get the gun, but not
a lot
much
of positioning
else.
too.
They're gonna find Demento as well, but Billy gonna reflect a lot, do some damage, and that will be, it's a pretty okay sack. Rogue's only on 80%, so that's fine. They got the gun, they got some people, gonna have to reposition, so that's pretty successful for MCM, but they need to capitalize on that. They're gonna have a small Uber ad. They probably don't know it unless they want to go instantly. They're not in position to, though. Looks like their combo is rolling out. They're gonna go into the side hill, gonna look to either go window or flank. They're not taking any of the traditional pushes. They're all going flank once again, and this Uber v Uber is going to be really important.
Well, yeah, MCM taking it this way. Early use, of course, to try to get something off that gun. Blake, no pressure, doesn't have to use it. It does get popped now, so MCM are going to back up. They're happy with just the gun going down. There goes Watterson. There goes Zukima. Well. And yeah, Krusty Krab have the advantage, although Evil trying to get something done as well, gets the gun. And if MCM get these respawns in time, they might still have a chance to get some more positioning with this cart.
This is going to be chaos. We have a minute 10, 40% for Rogue he can get. Blake has 30 he can get. Both these teams are going to be fighting non-stop here for the next minute.
Rogue went down!
Put your pants on. Holy... Jarrett taking down Rogue and Zukima with sticky spam over the top. The cart is getting pushed in. Kresnik is standing tall on the top, half HP, doing damage. The cart is up the hill. Stabs and rockets coming in from MCM. They're so close, but so far as the cavalry are here to clean this up. Jarrett, Syath combining for 3, and that does finally get cleaned up. The push is stalled, but 45 seconds left, and the cart is on the edge. Someone's got to sit on that as Blake is going to have Uber to defend. MCM need to force the Uber and then re-push here.
Well, 5 seconds before that cart starts moving back, so someone's got to try to touch it, whether it's triple or evil. The gun is going to be something. Never mind. Watterson takes it out. Look at MCM. This
the air
is a
blast
huge
is big.
push.
They're going to get Zuki off. And Zuki does go down. The Uber is in through main, and that's pretty much what they wanted. Force the Uber, die on cart so that you can get the respawns and try again. We got 15 seconds. The cart is literally a breath away from getting blown in.
And
anything could happen.
Krusty Krab go forward. Billy gets both Rogue and Aaron. Demento with a headshot on triple. I think that could be it. 5 seconds coming up in just a second. Evil not going to be able to do enough, and somehow MCM bungle this.
Yeah, that's going to be all of them running into death here. Gun up, banner up. Another important banner from JJ, and that 12-minute defense just gets wiped instantly. And Krusty Krab are going to take the first round on their opponent's map pick. So if you want that bracket reset, that's what you got to do, I guess.
Wow. Alto, I mean, there is so much that you could say, really, for both sides' offenses. Have at it.
I dedicate this half to my main team who won an entire season without capping Vigil second. That point can be brutal. It is... For how fast Vigil plays, right? I'm beginning to suspect that we all thought Vigil was fast because the defense meta hadn't fully settled in yet. I think we're seeing some longer times come through as you see these top level teams manage to, effectively use their players. I think we saw a lot of what Krusty Krab did, especially on that, second defense that was the majority of the hold, was they don't die. There's only so many ways you can push in from, right? And I feel like MCM may have gotten a little bit tilted because they weren't fully using all 3 of those options. I saw very little side tunnel pressure ever come out of them.
From anyone but the soldier.
But it's so hard to find anything against a team that's not making any mistakes. I think what's something we're going to see come through more often is just the less mistakes teams make, the harder it might be in order to get things in, because it's so hard to sack. It's so hard to get your spy in. Your sniper can really only get angles on people that walk into him, right? It's not like an upward second, right, where you have the ability to peek kill and you can, take the fight to them. You're always walking into spam, you're walking into other angles, and we mentioned K&D in the lead-in for those players on Krusty Krab, and they played exactly as you would expect. Almost flawless. Like, there's so little you can point to the players on Krusty Krab about making mistakes this half.
Speaking of flawless, though, Blake, 0 deaths.
Oh,
That's
12-minute
huge.
defense half. That's
12
so
minute,
big.
12-minute defense, 12 minute offense, 0 deaths. Yep.
Yeah, I Rogue did go down 3 times, but 2 of those were in the end pressure, which, credit to Jarrett for that one like fade away sticky that was just beautiful to see. Rogue really did hold serve, but Blake going down 0 times is and get that headshot is a little bit of a counter god play by Blake.
Yeah, we expect Watson to make those plays. He tried for a bunch of them, but really couldn't find his entries on offense.
And man, you gotta feel so bad for MCM right there too, because they did almost everything that you want to see. We saw Krusty. I wanted to point out a couple of key things Krusty Krab did on their second push. Mainly, I think a lot of credit goes to Exa for hearing the second the gun got pulled. He ran out of tunnel knowing that there wouldn't be a gun to shoot him and kills Yip Yapper while he's marked for death from the rescue ranger, which was so key, because one of the things that Exa did was, out of the first 8 minutes of Krusty Krab's second hold, Exa's gun was up for the first 5 minutes of it. He just didn't lose it. Anytime Eva got in for a sap, it was like Exa knew and was already pre-swinging his wrench, when the sapper went on, just to fully maximize or minimize time takes to unsap it and keep that up so that you can never get any cart pressure. But going into this, I mean, I don't think MCM has anything they really need to change other than maybe the second push, right? Because the rest of the way they played was pretty much flawless, but their mental, I think, is going to be the biggest thing right now. I mean, Krusty Krab have to be on cloud 9 after winning that. That's a half you should never win.
Definitely. And before we get into the second half, the thing I want to see change is I want to see MCM's soldier allocation get a bit better, because we mentioned he was the only one trying to pressure side tunnel. Penguin kind of just alone there. He was alone, just sacking a lot of times. His KD at the end was 6 and 18, and although he did match JJ in damage, all of those deaths on your soldier, all of that failure to get follow-up damage or clean up kills, that just makes him so much less effective. JJ being alive, getting kills, staying with his team, all those banners were crucial. Every single one, almost every banner was needed for that defense to come out. And if MCM want to step up their defense, step up their game, they should allocate their soldier a bit better with more people from his flank, more people from his combo. Whatever you need to do to get Penguin into the game, you need to try to do it.
To give credit where credit is due, he got 4 battalions off on third when they were defending that, but it's really the offense I think you want to see him do more on. He had a couple bombs in, all of them got reflected, it looked like, or
nothing was with the team.
But yeah, exactly.
It looked like he was just playing by himself at that point.
Well, MCM now, they have a second chance to make a first impression. If they can come out of the gate and get something going against Krusty Krab, which it won't be easy to do, like we saw on second, but if they can set a solid offensive time, I think you're then back into your game that you were, your headspace, I guess, that you were going into initially. They've already gotten this push onto first, and we'll wait with bated breath to see how this second goes.
Yeah, if you're MCM, you need to be able to mental reset here, because you need to not let the 8 minutes that you spent on the base of this hill affect how you push now. You need to get to your game plan, you need to do what you did in practice, and if you know that you can do this, you should be able to. Looks like they're going to start off with a hill walkout, Waterson jumping out, RJ already here, and they're going to pop fast. Waterson going for the god shot, gets a flash, going to walk into side tunnel. Uber Exchange is here. Both snipers end up going down first, which is pretty funny, but Zuki is going to get stabbed on the back end by Vizzy. Exa cleaning up Marty, so combo is destroyed from MCM. They're going to lose those players and have to back downhill, as a pretty good hold has come out from Krusty Krab once again. Demento the only casualty.
It looked like that had the chance to turn for MCM, but the late Uber play definitely did go the favor of Krusty Krab. Marty had a chance to take down the dispenser, but then saw the gun and ran for it to take it down. And now I'm gonna keep an eye on that. If Exa is just able to continue building those guns again, that could end up being a problem for MCM. Still, of course, early in this half, but you don't want to get stonewalled yet again.
A lot of tunnel pressure coming out from MCM, but Zuki and Triple are going to go down to some explosives from the gun and the rocket launcher of JJ. So losing those two people, they do find Demento again. I don't know where he keeps dying. We mentioned that sniper positioning is going to be a bit of a thing to look for here. As Banner is out from the defense, they want to try to negate the sniper advantage. Remember, you can't get headshot when that Banner is active, so they're going to walk forward and take down Triple and Marty and push back MCM. So interesting use of the Banner there. I don't dislike it. And that's going to buy time for Demento to get back up and get buffed, but Uber is here.
Evil decloaks in the back line as well. He's actually going to make Krusnik turn around and deal with that, so he's not going to be able to help out at this point in the fight. He's back in now, and look at that.
Jared
Waterson,
on a 5K.
Evil, Zakima, Triple. Just the names going down on MCM. I don't know if there's maybe a late great push.
Like,
yeah.
Why doesn't he go with your team? Now he's back out 1 HP, he goes down to spam, and there's another one to roll! That's such a weird spam rocket. MCM need to go together, I don't know what they're doing.
Oh, yeah, that's I don't know. I don't know if Penguin was low. We'll have to keep an eye on it.
It's the entire team's fault. Everyone needs to make sure that you're coordinated on these pushes, and now Demento's gonna try to take an SBS with Waterson. Both the snipers are buffed, it looks like. Just edging. Who can find that shot? Demento takes a shot, backs off. Evil on the gun alone, okay. There's the bomb in for RJ though, they're finally gonna get forward and take that down. But Zuki and Evil have gone down. Exa is cleaned up. Penguin is the trade on that end, so they have people on the roof, which is interesting. We got Marty and RJ making space for Waterson, trying to walk forward here. They finally are walking as a team onto the side of the hill, and they're going to push back the defense here. Krusty Krab going to lose Billy. They're going to Uber to try and save this. Scythe and Jarrett are going to walk forward. They do find RJ and Marty, so that's a pretty good repush, but Rogue is alive, going to have about a 60% advantage to work with.
And this is okay for MCM because look at that cart in that all that chaos. Aaron and Triple made sure that they got that cart in a reasonable spot. So now with Uber advantage, MCM really have to make sure that they take this. If you let this one slip away yet again, I have to imagine that the frustration will start to set in. There goes Jared taking down Waterson another time. And really what I want to say for Krusty Krab is that their players are showing up and they're just right now out-fragging
I hate to interrupt you
MCM.
here, but there's something interesting here, is that Blake doesn't have Uber. They should know that. He's 50%, he fake called, and it looks like MCM's push is going to come in off the back of that. Here's the Banner to try and stall and buy time. They lose Demento again instantly, who's surprised. Gun going to take it out as well. The Banner repush is coming in as Kresnik drops. Marty is the trade. Exa getting that shotgun onto him and going to get traded by Evil though. So finally that Uber advantage working out, but here is the counter pop as Blake stayed alive. They're down 3, but they're trying to find whatever cleanup they can. Zuki goes down to Scythe on a 6k. RJ goes down to JJ on a 7k. Flank doing work here. Evil going to find the stab onto Jarrett, and Scythe finally gets cleaned up. So that's going to be kills from MCM. Blake, oh, and he gets Revolver down by Evil on the back end. So finally MCM push forward together. They kite out the repush from Krusty Krab, and they are going to take this point. Evil as well chasing out Vizzy, getting that Spy v Spy win. Make it 6. One on to JJ. So good play by Evil there to get that cleanup. That's what you know him best for. Coming in when everyone's distracted and cleaning house.
Yeah, and that's Blake's first death of the entire map, so pour one out, although Evil clearly pissed off, right? He's like, okay, you know, I'm taking control of this game. MCM do have a great opportunity now to roll into third, just because X's gun only a level 1. They should know if they can keep pressure up. They'll be like,
oh, but
good
Blake stabbed.
Oh, he is playing pissed off right now.
Yeah, Evil on that 7k before he gets dropped by Kresnik, but you'll take that trade any day. And it's everyone getting wiped. That cleanup is in. Zuki, Penguin, Triple all getting in on that. That's a full wipe. Just Scythe alive. He's actually waiting in the back line, so he's going to try and find a medic pick here or something can give us some advantage. Because remember, Blake went down and Rogue didn't have to pop. So 90% as MCM are looking to get into last here. Scythe hasn't necessarily called anything yet about where he is. It looks like he's going to try to find his way in. He's the guy to look at here. He needs to find something. Mini, though, that's so sad.
Yeah, well,
and because he can't find that, Rogue is on full Uber advantage. MCM have a chance to snowball this into last.
Well, one thing I was going to mention was that Krusty Krab have done a good job of keeping MCM star players down, and just goes to show, once Evil has a huge play, look what can happen. But the Uber does get used. Triple is in now alone with no Uber. Rogue moved back to try to get RJ in, and just kind of ended up leaving Triple out to dry. I don't know why RJ and Zuki were so slow coming in. All three of them should have been able to get forward, but right now they still have the positioning and they have the numbers trying to roll this into last.
Zuki too far forward, they're going to get shredded down by Exa, JJ, and everyone around him. Busy coming in with some cleanup onto Marty, as well as Kresnik getting that kill to Evil. Waterson wins his SVS, but they have lost more players. Their spawners are going to be having a longer walk as well. So a lot of players on fire, a lot of cleanup coming in. Jarrett and Syath going to take that one down. And that's going to be a bit of a hold for Krusty Krab here. They're down 5 players as Waterson finds that snipe. They have Uber to defend. They're going to have to use it.
Here it comes, Syath. We know how much damage he can do. He's on a 3K as he takes down Waterson. He's out for blood, looking
Waterson's
for anything
so
else. Well, Syath now coming out.
He wants Waterson so bad.
Oh, luckily for him, he
Distraction
gets
does find the
saved.
heavy pick, so no heavy on the cart, but the Uber is in from MCM here, trying to get forward with Triple and RJ doing some
Someone get on
damage.
the cart.
RJ getting the gun nest down, as well as Billy. People on cart. Krusty Krab need to repush this, get some people blocking it, but it doesn't look like they'll be able to. Bomb in from JJ, gonna buy some time, but that will be the round. 7 minutes, that's perfectly in the middle of the average I said earlier, so that is, you know, just much faster pace than we're used to, almost twice as fast.
Yeah, right. Well, Alto, what did you see that might have contributed to MCM's success in this half versus their last offensive attempt?
Well, one of the things that I think really made the difference on second that we saw Krusty Krab do, and we didn't get a whole lot of focus on it at the time, but then MCM did it when they ended up doing it, is that the Uber push is not what wins you second, it's the post fight. And we saw so many times, I think Zag made a mention to it, was that MCM was having really bad post-fight positioning and post-fight syncing, what with Penguin not going in with the rest of the team and people getting caught out in those Ubers. When they finally have an Uber exchange where they don't just get wiped on the back end of it, and they're able to repush in, they finally take second. Evil gets you that med pick onto Blake, which, granted, only happened because of how they pushed in. Penguin got behind. And when the rest of the team turned to look at Penguin, Evil actually got a kill running in from the front onto Jarrett, and then was able to revolver down Blake after that, which, you know, he hasn't been able to get, because when you're all looking forward, only, you know, it's easy to catch him coming from behind. And then that momentum let us kind of see Vigil as we normally see it, right? But I think that the quality of the med play has been going a long way to slowing this map down. And we see, as we see Waterson, you know, open up the SVS this round, it's going to be on Krusty Krab to keep up their, you know, fast second push, but really figure out how to crack third this time.
Both snipers on the bottom of the scoreboard this game, which Vigil, it's kind of expected. Sometimes they do have the pop-off for port horns, especially Waterson has his on this map, but either way, we'll be looking into this push. Triple and Evil dropping early, gonna get this gun repositioned. Very normal, but Krusty Krab are fast. Looks like they want to push people towards side tunnel, but their medic isn't with them yet. A lot of them are hurt. Just looking to try to get pressure, catch people out, and the cart will finally get capped up. Evil and Zuki going down on the back end. They will have that spawn up by the time this push is ready.
Yeah, and I think we're also seeing how much MCM can struggle when players like Waterson and Evil. Oh yeah, well, here comes the Uber. Marty doing a good job keeping him back. This is not going too well for Krusty Krab, but we'll see if there's a collapse anywhere else.
No, we're going to see the reset onto base of hill right now. Krusty Krab going to try to walk up this one while MCM are a bit tattered, and it looks like going to be a walk in. Jarrett very low, going to need an arrow to keep him alive. Demento winning that SVS onto Waterson, buying his team some space. Evil can't get the trade either. Banner is in from the defense, which is pretty big here, but they are down players. Krusty Krab have the advantages to work with except for that Banner, but we do see Penguin go down. So now Krusty Krab waiting for heals here. Blake needs to get some arrows out, and there's the stab onto Aaron. Gonna go down as well. Cleanup very important from him, and that's almost a total wipe. Rogue does live with 60%, but that's the post positioning we're talking about.
What's crazy too, Rogue lived because I think the Enforcer's knockback helped push him towards the spawn. I can't believe that just happened.
He would have lived with a revolver knockback too if he just surfs it. It's the same thing.
It's just crazy though.
If
that
anything, the Enforcer gives him a better chance because
trust Zag when it comes to matters of the Enforcer.
Well, weapon aside, Rogue being able to dance around and make it back to spawn with how low he was. With how low he was, yeah, just impressive. He's gonna have 100%. They have a chance to hold third. About 5 minutes remaining on this, but Jarrett comes in early. Uber now for Krusty Krab.
To air blast this. Marty finally getting in the mix, gonna get that flash and air blast these players back down the hill. So that's a pretty good hold. They need to keep their players healthy, and healthy they will be. Rogue the only person losing HP, but will be fine. Flank is still held here by Zuki and Triple. JJ gonna bomb out to try to catch RJ out, but RJ blind dodges the rocket. Sometimes that's what it takes.
Well, this is do or die time for MCM because here comes Krusty Krab. They managed to take down Krusty. Yeah, JJ gets floated now in the back line, trying to still contribute. This cart's starting to move up the hill, but Penguin and RJ, yeah, they're just making sure they lock it down. Oh, here comes Busy. Now caught out.
A bit too early, but too late.
I really want to see Krusty Krab put more effort into dislodging Zukima
They
from
got
flank.
him.
He's like a bad hangnail right now. He will not go away.
MCM's third hold last round was so strong. It's the flank presence. So Krusty Krab, hopefully they remember that. They try to get people in this flank, control this area. Because right now, Zuki, Marty, and Triple on these rotations are so oppressive.
Oh, there's the bomb in from JJ. Takes Rogue down so low, but not able to clean it up. The Uber comes up from Krusty Krab. Thought that they could maybe catch him off guard, but the Uber does come out. MCM just blocking things down.
Play.
Watterson did go down, but here comes Zuki. That flank Putis, he finds two. And the kills are just going in MCM's
trying to
flavor.
find picks, but Marty gets him reflected. Another great play by Marty, keeping his players alive there. Blake gonna be perfectly safe, and Zuki living through that entire fight once again, gonna get an arrow as well. So great play by him to clean up. And Krusty Krab tried some trickery where they had half their players push through main and half their players go back underneath the tunnel. It looked good until the cleanup crew came in for MCM. They recognized the threat and dealt with it appropriately. So another strong third hold coming in for them. We've seen them do this before. And Krusty Krab, they need to find their answer. A lot of players into the flank is going to be what they're going to try.
They want to make sure they deal with Zuki early, I guess, but Jarrett goes down, backstab from Evil. Blake not
Zuki
building
head
right
glitched
now.
and won the SBS first time.
Oh man, Blake's still not healing, still at 78% as Rogue's going to come up on Uber. Really, it just means this could be a slower push from Krusty Krab when they've only got about 2.5 minutes.
They tried the flank play, but that just wasn't quite it. They almost got Zuki, but he managed to snipe out the Mento with the minigun, if anything. And then a lot of cleanup came in from Triple and Marty again. Scythe trying to fight, but the Uber isn't through main tunnel. Their entire force is here. Once again, Marty gonna rotate over, get that flash and help air blast down. Banner is in for post as well. MCM are like a well-oiled machine on this third point, although Zuki finally gets taken down. He's the only person dead, though.
Yeah, Scythe smelled blood, and he's like, I'm going for this. I will not let Zuki
Scythe actually
live.
looked for him earlier. Zuki crouched on the head glitch. Scythe didn't see him and took a scout fight.
I love it. Well, here comes Kresnik, the blue heavy. He starts shooting his bullets around the corner.
Air blast Marty keeps Larson alive.
Oh my god. This is, MCM are still doing it, but right now I think Krusty Krab's finally gonna take it.
If RJ dies here, that's bad, and the cart is getting all the way up. Kresnik gets sniped down on the back end, so Watterson buying his team some time, and that will be the full back out. Zuki died on respawn, I think. And a lot of players getting cleaned up. Scythe running forward with the help of Vizzy. A lot of cleanup kills as MCM are only 4 up. They're 80% Uber, and they have their gun, but their players are under threat right now.
Yeah, these respawns can't come soon enough, especially it's Triple, RJ, and Watterson. Yeah, good pick from Evil. It's going to delay things just a bit. Rogue didn't go down, so they're still going to have Uber to contend with, and luckily for MCM, all 9 players are up. Really, the danger situation is over, but they still have to hold this for another minute 15.
Yeah, we haven't acknowledged the time too much, but it is a minute 15. That's really 1 Uber and a half at this point. So once Krusty Krab get their players up, get their cart up, they're going to look to go here. And here's the Uber out of Red Room. Air Blast coming in from Marty again. A lot of space being bought for him as he takes a near solo. RJ getting a flash at the end, funneling these players back. But Marty overextends on that one and gets killed. That might come back to bite them later. It is going to be a repositioning fight, but MCM have big flank pressure. Zuki and Triple, this duo on the flank, getting a lot of space, and Krusty Krab has to funnel through main because of it.
There goes the gun. Jarrett getting good job. This is only 3 players up for MCM. 35 seconds. Krusty Krab are going to take this. They're going to win this 2-0.
So close, and they're going to get everything. That flank from the backside got dealt with too appropriately. That heavy was in such a good position to succeed, but the rest of the players over in main couldn't quite get any damage, couldn't quite get any space bought, and that will be another loss on that one.
Wow, so even when MCM managed to figure out their offense, Krusty Krab respond in kind, and just like that, MCM's map pick falls 2-0 in the favor of Krusty Krab, and I'm kind of left a little speechless now.
I need to watch that last fight again because it felt like they were in such a position to succeed.
There is nothing more classic TF2 than losing your map pick.
True.
I'm fairly certain that if you go through like invite playoffs, you'll find that the maps just go 50-50 regardless of who picks them. You know, it feels like any game where it's not just an outright roll, the team loses their map pick, which hopefully means good things for MCM on Ashville, right?
Yeah, we blame the variance of Highlander for that one.
Yeah, well, I think part of it too is that we all go into this and you see, Krusty Krab with their main roster back when they had, like I think it was, was it Nixie, or I think it was Nixie on Sniper and Logan on Demo, Demento on Spy when they were super tryharding. They lost to I Hate Mondays, but you have to think: did they lose that really because they were just like irreparably bad at the map, or did they lose it because they got cocky? They probably trolled against the team that they thought they were going to easily roll, and they didn't practice as hard as they could have.
Trolling on Vigil, I would know nothing about this.
Yeah, we've got no experience with that.
Cut the broadcast. You don't want to let this. Don't let this out.
But if you think about it, Krusty Krab, even though they have Jacob on Sniper, as we've said, that's not a troll, right? He's playing and he's contesting Waterson just as well as any other invite sniper would be able to right now. And they know going into playoffs that, hey, our weak point is Vigil. Everyone's going to be, targeting us for this. So in earlier rounds, they may have banned it, but they may have said, hey, look, if we just go balls to the wall on practice on Vigil, if we leave it open, they're going to pick it. We can mind control them into picking a map we want to play on.
Mind control is a well-known tactic of the best players of any video game, so...
Yeah, of course, Because how does anyone ranked above me? They're not actually better than me. They're just lucky, or they're cheating.
That's
you know what I mean. I could do this if only I was luckier. And
that's how I approach CS:GO, and I just can't believe I haven't gone pro yet.
They're cheating or lucky.
It's only one of the two.
Every one of your kills is deserved. Every time you die, it's either cheats or RNG spray.
or you're lagging. Anyway, jokes aside, we can see the stats up on the screen now. Blake on 2 deaths. I do believe these are combined as well. So 2 deaths the entire game. They all came on that one attack half, I believe. So that's one of the big things, I think, when the difference was, because both rounds came down to the wire. Under a minute left on the clock both times. Blake having a third of the deaths of Rogue, 2-6, that's buying them a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's, again, we mentioned it when he had 0 deaths in the first half. Just when you always have Uberad, you have so much extra space to play with. If you always have Uberad, especially on a map like, on a point like Vigil Second, you can drop a player. Your sniper can go down. Your pyro can get sniped. And if you still have Uberad, or you're at least even, you can still probably hold that a lot of the time, as long as everyone else doesn't mess up. And it just gives you so much breathing room when your med is playing that solidly.
Well, one thing I was gonna mention, but every time I tried to say something, that is when the action started, and I had to cut myself off. But I think what Krusty Krab have done very well is they've neutralized Waterson and Evil for the most part. Waterson had a solid first half, not so much second half, so his overall stats don't look so great. And Evil, he had that one pop off. Not that he had a poor game, but the fact that Krusty Krab held them in check, I think that's the machine that keeps MCM going. When those two pop off, they're pretty much unstoppable. But the fact that Krusty Krab are taking away their star players and forcing everyone else to come up, we saw Zuki proved to us that he's ready, he's up for the task. We need to see the rest of the team step up whenever the other two aren't having as great a game.
Yeah, and looking at the stats, it may not look like Zuki had a particularly good game, but he did his job perfectly well for the most part. There was so many positions that MCM, you can tell, they've rehearsed that hold, and they've done it a billion times. They know how to make it work, and Krusty Krab struggled with it. But when it came down to the clutch moments, Krusty Krab were just that bit better. Blake having almost permanent Uber advantage is big in that. They got, I would say their pick classes made the bigger plays as well, even if they didn't necessarily perform better on paper. It always seemed like Vizzy was doing great job in cleanup, winning fights for his team. Demento was finding the entry picks.
Yeah, and one thing I think too, when you look at Zuki's KD, I don't think it tells the full story, because you have to look at, in an offense by defense breakdown. So I'd say probably out of those 33 deaths that we see there, I'd say probably at least 20 of them were just dying on cart when there was nothing else doing, trying to maybe find someone sleeping and, get an extra a few feet of cart time, which are pretty harmless deaths overall. But on defense, we almost never saw him really being, the first domino to fall. And that's really important, because often it's not when you die, or it's not like how often you die, but it's when you die. And all of his deaths were coming at good times. So yeah, he really was a rock for them to play around.
Yeah. Zuki Shill aside, we will be moving to Asheville here. This is Krusty Krab's map pick. If they can take this one, that's a 2-0 in the grand final first match. They will be forcing that reset. All they got to do is take their own map here, and we mentioned that can be harder than it sounds sometimes. Highlander maps sometimes go 50-50, but I would say coming into this, I'd expect Krusty Krab definitely to be the favorites on this map.
I definitely think that they're slight favorites. MCM are no slouches. Triple is still a really great scout. If we can see Penguin get involved and really do some great work, so that their flank as a whole is playing really well. It's not a great sniper map, but Evil has opportunity again to get involved. So even though Krusty Krab, like you said, I think they come in favorites, it's not going to be an easy take, I think, for their map pick. They're still going to have a lot to contend with in terms of firepower on the MCM side, although Krusty Krab definitely did seem to have the fragging edge on Vigil.
It's difficult to not think they're the favorites to win this when a lot of their weaknesses we were looking to see just got shown that they patched them up pretty decidedly.
Yeah, it is a different map, although you are correct on that. They do look like... This is probably the strongest that Krusty Krab have looked in playoffs so far, which I would say that's a fair statement. And on Asheville, which is a map that most people would favor them on in general, just because of the composition of their team, it can be a close game, yeah, but I would still say Krusty Krab would take this. If we want to take a look at some key players to look at, I think it's going to be all about the flank this game. Scythe, JJ, Slim, they've been playing really well across the entire game so far, popping off, having banners when they need to. We won't probably see banners this game from JJ, but he's still going to be a big threat, and they're going to be facing off against Triple and Penguin. We're going to have to see how those bats fights go, because that's going to determine a lot of which combo feels safe to walk forward, and which one has to, check for that knife in their back every so often.
Yeah, I think Vizzy is definitely going to be an important part of Krusty Krab's offense too on Asheville. I mean, did top frag 36, Jarrett just behind on Vigil. So I know I've mentioned Evil quite a few times, and that's definitely not to discount how well Vizzy played, because it really did a great job getting to MCM, and if he can keep that up, it's going to be a problem. But we are getting the countdown into map number 2.
Yep, and we'll be getting ready for the loadout here. We have Krusty Krab on the blue side, MCM on the red side. We're playing on the nighttime Asheville. If you haven't tuned to Highlander, this is a bit of a new version we're doing that fixes a lot of bugs or just things that we didn't like with the original. So roll out here. Both demos taking a lot of spam. Jarrett even getting set on fire. Will end up getting healed up. He's still very low, but the fight is going for MCM so far with that snipe onto Demento. That threat's going to let RJ walk across point as he pleases. Getting some spam. Jarrett put down defensive stickies, but there's that flank from Krusty Krab. JJ with the 3K on the back end. Marty's Waterson and Triple all dropping. Zuki also gets the kill onto Kresnik, and there's that big flank difference coming in. Scythe is even in the backline. He's going to be looking for Rogue here. Aaron doesn't see him. He's going to look to shoot Aaron. That's a bit of a mistake, but Mini is there anyway, so Scythe's going to live on that. But that mid was won by Krusty Krab because of that flank play, and they're going to have to cap up here, and both medics are going to have Uber.
I just can't believe that JJ or Amanda Panda is able to get that done. That's amazing.
Oh, flank drops!
Huge drop. RJ. Damn, and Krusty Krab might bump, like, how? Okay, sorry, you speak now.
Yeah, off that drop, we'll see both teams sacking everyone on the point. It's 4 up for both sides. Rogue even getting a saw onto Vizzy. Penguin getting 2 in return as well. This fight is so chaotic, and Krusty Krab didn't actually cap the point on that first mid, so it's still going to be even. This is mid-fight version 2.0. Sticky gets 3 all on that. Jarrett hitting 3 with that on ramp. A lot of damage, and that should be the mid. Fingers crossed, it's just Evil in right now. We're going to see what he can find. Goes for the barrels. Decloak. Blake not looking, but he misses the opportunity, and that will be not a mid cap yet. Come on, Krusty Krab, don't make me eat my words.
There's no map that has infinite mid fights more often than Asheville. It's just as you see RJ.
But flank difference again. JJ just got Waterson, RJ, and then Scythe was in the back cleaning up Zuki. It's been all flank difference this game so far.
Yeah, they that flank is looking really strong. Well, we'll see if if MCM can find a way to break Krusty Krab's hold now that they finally took this mid. They'll look like they want to go towards bats, which I think is reasonable. Maybe send a couple players down that way.
Bats.
Yeah.
And maybe Triple and Penguin are on 2 points. Scythe and JJ are on 14.
That's
Make that
insane.
15.
Well, definitely JJ's impact cannot be understated so far with handing Krusty Krab this now almost a 1 minute advantage in this first round.
Here's the Uber out from Shutter for MCM. Triple walking forward, focuses the heavy with a fist, and that will be a counter Uber from Krusty Krab trying to herd these players back into ramp. JJ gets a whip kill onto Zukima, does get traded by Triple though. Scythe gonna clean him up in return. Spy, ooh, Evil almost gets that stab onto Jarrett, but he turns around just in time. Probably a good call from Billy or Blake, keeping him alive, and that will be a successful hold for Krusty Krab.
Well, now Demento could end up being a problem. Oh, never mind, as Evil just
anymore.
takes him out. Yeah, and there goes Kresnik. This is MCM's best opportunity. Well, second best opportunity after the Uber drop. But they are going to be able to cap it. Krusty Krab want none of the smoke. So Ubers are even. Point gets capped up by MCM, and they need to hold it for about a minute and a half to even this up.
Yep, and looks like MCM want to play aggressive here. They have all their players on point. No one's sitting back at ramp right now. Looks like Marty going to get some ammo. But look at how they're playing. Zukima's walking under bats. RJ is right in front of the shutter, and this is interesting from them.
Yeah, it's a different way, I think. Oh, there goes Watterson getting Sayat. The Uber comes in. I had stuff to say, but again, here comes another Uber trade. And really not much happening. It looks like they got kind of backed off.
Ooh, Blake Evil found Blake on the backup as well as Watterson finding Sayat. So that's exactly what MCM needed to try and extend their timer right now. They're only 20 seconds behind that. We'll get even up. Here's the sack in, but it gets shut down immediately. Zuki and Watterson cleaning up those bombers.
Zuki playing there, I believe, is what Carl used to do towards the end of DK's lifespan on this map. Because if you have your demo playing forward, your heavy prevents them from dropping down off of bats, and then if they ever try to focus him, the rest of your team pushes up, and you know, just get pinched from 2 angles, and it's so hard to push him out.
And that's the reason why Krusty Krab has to force so early too. It's because they can't walk off of bats like you do normally when you push this point. They got to use that uber fast. And there's Zuki peeking Shutter, finds Exa and Demento. That's the threat of the close heavy. Is going to get shot in the back and taken down, but Evil getting in with Triple, finding those cleanup kills. Bomb isn't successful from JJ this time, and that's another firm hold from MCM. The time is ticked into their favor now, and Rogue has a 30% advantage.
Yeah, this is looking like a really clean hold. They do have that clock advantage, and well, they can just sit back. Watterson has found a little bit of success. He's definitely looking to get hot in a big way, but other than that, it's really just been how aggressive MCM have been. Like you said, Zuki in the shutter, Triple and Evil getting involved for cleanup kills. So if they can keep that pressure up, they'll be looking good. But here comes the Uber from Krusty Krab.
Ooh, Zuki gets saved just in time. Great job from Rogue to flash his players, and that's going to be people in the backline. Evil finding Demento and Kresnik, with Aaron finding Billy, and that's a full win for MCM right now. Penguin finally the first casualty side getting that cleanup. JJ is the trade though, and Triple going to find Jarrett on the back end, so they are going to lose flank, but that's a full hold from MCM. Their medic is alive and has advantage, and this is all coming up MCM right now. Now they're going to take into a minute advantage.
And yeah, Krusty Krab just wait for their respawns. They're gonna have to lick their wounds, come back in for another one. Oh, no.
Jarrett. Why not?
Now Blake definitely knows he doesn't want to walk anywhere near that sight line, although I'm sure Watterson will switch it up. Looks like it might be from bats for a couple of players from Krusty Krab.
Demento has the
peeking
headshot
Shutter.
advantage. Demento missed and Watterson actually railed him. Demento didn't have overheal, he dies. And Kresnik gonna finally take down Zuki on that shutter, so really good play by him. Evil gonna escape for now, but that heavy being down is a good advantage for Krusty Krab to push off. They're gonna find Evil with that mini, and here's the Uber gonna come off bats. They actually don't have Uber, it's dry, and Rogue has 95%.
Rogue's got to make sure he stays alive. 98. He's going to have it in time, but he doesn't have a huge cast of characters. It's going to be RJ. They've got to try to get these players off point. RJ and Triple in, but Blake gets his Uber in time.
They gotta get out.
Yeah, Krusty Krab is going to win this fight. That's fine. You got it into overtime. Just try to stay alive. You just need to cap it to win this round now. Oh, Sayeth.
He wants to frag. Oh, they can't hit the revolver shot, and Scythe's gonna live on that one. So Krusty Krab keeping all their players alive, even Uber's out here, but MCM, they do have a temporary health advantage. They have 4 players into overheal. Krusty Krab has none. It's just Scythe now with a beam on him. And that's gonna be Watterson finding the opening onto Blake, trying to get in those angles to overheal those players. Watterson running out is gonna get that cleaned up, but MCM have all their players up. It's all white for Krusty Krab. Just Scythe left. That beam isn't gonna help him now. And that's gonna be a recap from MCM to win the round.
Yeah, it looked like Rogue wanted to run out and kill Sayeth real quick, but thought better of it, just said let's secure the round.
Krusty Krab were so scrambled at the end there. They wanted to heal their players to finally get some positioning, but running into that sideline is the one thing you can't do here, and that will be the round for MCM, round 1 of Krusty Krab's map.
And also, if you've got anything to say, just interject at any point. It's so hard to find some time to speak. If you see something, a pattern developing, definitely let us know. But this mid looking great for Krusty Krab early. Yeah, there.
Thanks, Rogue and Marty.
We'll see if this is another long mid fight, but I think Krusty Krab should convert this early.
Yeah, that's a pretty much one-sided mid. None of the trades that we've seen, as Blake is going to stay alive, whereas Rogue went down to the JJ bomb. He mixed it up. Instead of going bats this time, he jumped straight over onto ramp, onto the medic's head. Marty couldn't hit those reflex, went down as well, and that will be the clean mid for Krusty Krab. This is more so what we expected from them on Asheville.
Well, 100% now for Blake. I think, yeah, you can definitely just go in for a sack.
Really pop.
Wow. Okay, Blake. I don't even think he took damage. I looked at the health bar. I think it was completely healthy, so that's awesome for MCM. Maybe a panic, a misclick from Blake or something like that. And, MCM, they are losing
JJ
a lot of numbers.
just jumped over roof and got 4 kills combined, so that flank is wiped. Krusty Krab gonna look to push their combo on point with that
Rogue's
space.
gotta
Not
get out.
worry about ramp. Yeah, Rogue's got to back up here. Zuki is a bit on ramp here alone, but he should be fine. No one's gonna go for the kill onto him. JJ finding RJ. Where was that? But that's a big pick for him, as RJ's spawn is now extended.
So MCM do have opportunity now with 100% Uber coming up. RJ on the respawn. It looks like they're going to go without him. That can be okay because they do have Triple leading in with the scout, but it's just going to be a solo, leaving Triple alone now to do the
Jared
rest
with
of
pipe juggle,
fight.
and then Kresnik actually gets the cleanup. He is going to get killed in return
Where are
by
the
Marty,
cappers?
but yeah, they're finally getting on the cap. Krusty Krab did lose Kresnik and Exa, so they will be backing up here. They have Uber, though. They're going to pop out with Jared and Scythe. JJ bombing over as well. Going to find Rogue. JJ, that's like his 5th medic pick this game, I guess. And Scythe going to clean up Waterson as well onto that Bats jump. So now it's all about defending your medic. But Blake going to go down to Zuki. He was hiding behind with the Evil, and I think another bomber coming in. And that collapse was perfect from MCM to turn a bad situation into a good one.
It's so interesting because I think on the initial Uber, they leave Triple in, Rogue goes back to heal other players, but nobody was there on point, and they could have potentially capped that sooner if they were able to get enough cap pressure. Ultimately, they do come down with it, so no harm, no foul, besides the extra 20 seconds you gave to Krusty Krab, and we'll see with the Uber advantage. MCM's defense last time was so great. We'll see if Lightning strikes twice on that one.
Zuki gonna get sniped out from that forward box position, although Triple does trade onto JJ, so that Soldier not gonna be a threat for here. Side gonna get his spawn up soon. Krusty Krab probably want him in the push. Both medics at about 60-65% give or take, so they're gonna be waiting a bit here. Vizzy going down as Waterson gets piped by Jarrett, so big pipes by him to give his team that advantage to work with. Scythe gonna clean up Evil as well, so no pick classes. And MCM are down 4 coming into this. Jarrett gonna drop off of Bats with a beam on him. Scythe as well. Mini goes down, and here's the pop from JJ again. Medic pick number 6, why not? And Rogue gonna go down, and now they need to protect their own medic. Pyro walks forward, does get Scythe and Exa, but Marty can't find the medic, and Blake's gonna live here. That's a successful push for Krusty Krab so far.
Yeah, Penguin on ramp, but definitely don't want to go for it at that point. There's too many players that are going to be staring down the gut, and you can just wait for RJ to come up, go for another bomb. They have been successful. Blake at 100%, and I guess with that itchy trigger finger that Blake had earlier, maybe you're feeling pretty good about another bomb over towards ramp.
Waterson winning the SBS onto Demento, but Jarrett gonna get Aaron and Zukima. That spam coming in big. Side gonna clean up Waterson, going for that aggressive play. But the Uber Force is in. Penguin and Triple getting that one across. Krusty Krab trying to look for whatever kills they can as Penguin does get cleaned up. Side jumping forward on that enemy Bats, trying to find that pick onto RJ, but will get air blasted by Marty, so they're gonna keep that player alive. Jarrett and Demento on the respawn as well. Evil probably wants to try to spawn camp one of them, as he is gonna go on Demento. Exa sees him, will not get that pick so far, as both teams now gonna look to walk out on point.
Rogue not as much of an advantage as I would have thought. Krusty is in on the backline, kills Waterson, Zuki goes down, Penguin and RJ too. MCM are just crumbling, including Rogue. Vizzy comes in clutch with the revolver, takes down the enemy medic, and now Blake's huge ad, 25 seconds, and this should be Krusty Krab's round unless something disastrous happens.
Krusty Krab gave MCM a taste of their own medicine there with a heavy wrap complemented by that Soldier and Scout flank, so that position very strong for them. Blake on 100% Uber, full point control. Krusty gonna get Waterson and Zuki before he gets traded out by Penguin, so very successful round for Krusty Krab. They're just gonna pop Uber and defend this here.
Yeah, and Rogue gonna be the first over to point. RJ is there too, but I'm assuming this fight should go.
Flash players?
Will it trend the way of Krusty Krab? I think
yeah,
with the heals.
The mini's awful to deal with if you're any of the MCM players.
Yeah, well,
it's
all knotted up 1-1 now as we go into round number 3.
Yep, and that's the tie up. That's much more of what we expected from Krusty Krab coming into their map pick. And now with 1-1, it's going to be up to both teams. They want to get the lead in this map, and they want to be able to close it out. So this round is imperative for them.
Rogue needs to stay alive.
Yeah, their Rogue is always dead to JJ. They need to protect him.
And I don't know, Marty can be aggressive. I don't know if maybe he's missing the bombs or he's down, or if other people like Zuki also need to pick up the bombs. Here comes the bomb from
JJ found Rogue again.
And there goes Rogue.
But Penguin found
Yeah,
Blake.
Penguin found the opposing combo as well, and both teams losing tons of players in the backline. There's the stabbing from Vizzy on Marty, and I feel like we're going to have a repeat of the first mid, as everyone is dead, now everyone has respawned.
Well, a triple so low could have actually pressured the point.
Everyone
Syaf
vacated.
too.
No one's on mid right now. It's just another rollout.
Vizzy, yeah, okay, here comes Krusty Krab. They're finally on the point. MCM definitely want to try to contest this, but they've got to push out from an awkward spot, so I think this should go
Evil on
Krusty Krab's
Kresnik.
way.
Gets that pick, but Side's going to take down triple and Jarrett cleaning up the spy, so now it's going to be point pressure for Krusty Krab. Here's the bomb in from Penguin.
Rogue goes.
One rocket, but can't find the other. Vizzy on the other side, though, stabbing Rogue out, and that's
And
another advantage.
Watterson.
But, yeah, Watterson
Headshot
finding
on
Blake.
Blake.
Okay, let's keep fighting.
We still don't have a mid captor. Okay, Syaf, so yeah, he can't get on the point because of his health. He's 1 HP too.
There's a blue
as
mini
Exus
out here,
starts
so
to finally,
none of the MCM players want to walk either. Finally, Krusnik on his respawn from the spy, cleans up Marty. That's going to be triple, wanting to walk on point, forcing these players back. Demento finding the SBS onto Watterson, though. That's going to be an advantage to work with, as Krusnik is backed up here. Krusty Krab's going under point. I think we're in crazy hour. Okay,
yeah.
Dement's going to back out.
Okay, yeah, so Blake gonna sit over towards boxes. He's scared to cross. Evil gets a good backstab. Lucky Blake wasn't still there because Evil may have found his back instead. But MCM do want to push the issue now that they don't have to worry about the sniper, but Syaf makes sure they don't have to deal with one either. This looks like, oh my god, how does JJ get another rope pick?
Yeah, Penguin hit an air shot on him, by the way, and going to the ground, JJ got the rocket off onto Rogue. So that's, we'll say medic pick 8, you know, for all intents and purposes, and that will be Krusty Krab winning this mid fight. They do have a minute off the clock, as they did cap somewhere in the middle of that. Who knows when? And that's going to be a full Uber advantage for Blake to work with as well. So Rogue is still on his chain die sprees to JJ. Not looking really good.
Can level 3s not be built anywhere on this map? or
not on the
just
Shutter,
like Shutter?
definitely.
Just Shutter, okay.
So they could build one bats if they wanted to. I don't know how much help it would be.
I honestly, they need to find some way to deny this flank because it is just too good. MCM, everyone is down except, you know, Rogue is still up right now. He's all the way in spawn. So
South on an 8k, just clean up Watterson off that one. We didn't talk about it too much. MCM just went for a sack, was very unsuccessful. They got Krusnik, and they didn't force Blake's Uber either. So it's going to be a reset for MCM. Rogue on 45%, as Side juggling rockets on the roof up here. Does get stickied up, needs to reflect, and is going to get that to save his life. As Jarrett is on point here, bombing from JJ. Let's see where he goes. Gets rocketed once and finally does not get that med pick, as the point walk is in from MCM.
And 100% Uber for Krusty Krab, and they do choose to use it. Kresnik cleaning up a number of players. Syaf on the hunt. See if, yeah, nothing to be found because MCM have vacated bats, but this does give them a pretty big Uber advantage and player advantage as well. Well, it's even now, but those respawns might be in MCM's favor 100%. I gotta see people getting to the point early because they are already down 2 minutes.
All Krusty Krab want here is to force this Uber and live, but Jarrett going down doesn't go well for that. They're gonna have to bomb over as JJ and Scythe are on the enemy bats, but Rogue is on the point here. They gotta try and keep this Uber if they want a chance in this round. They're 2 minutes and a half down as the flank is in. Scythe and JJ trying to get damage down. There's the bomb from JJ. Can't find the pick. Triple gets the front end kill onto Kresnik as well as Exa going down. So very successful push from MCM there. They keep their Uber and they get that point. Although the flank is still a threat here, JJ and Scythe are still behind.
Syaf decides to
Finally,
leave, and
JJ
there goes
dies.
Triple, yeah, taking down JJ. Vizzy calming for their team exactly where Rogue is sitting. It's actually going to be relatively aggressive on point. That could be a problem if a bomb does come in. It might mean MCM is going to be forced to use. Syaf goes down as we get the respawn in from JJ, and that is definitely of note because has been doing so much good work on soldiers. He's been shouting out all game.
Yep, and both meds are going to be sitting on this Uber now. Krusty Krab waiting for Scythe to respawn, get him in on that one. Demento is on bats here, scope, trying to find Waters from the SPS, but the Uber is on point. It's about even for both sides as Krusty Krab do need to back out first. Pyro is forcing them back. Marty's got to be careful not to overextend. Penguin goes down to Billy on the bomb. Here's JJ over roof, but he gets blasted back. Gonna live with 1 HP, so he's gonna be able to re-jump as Marty did overextend. He's gonna go down. Krusty Krab onto the point, but Kresnik cleaned up by Zukima as a pipe from Jarrett connects the other way, but Watterson with the headshot getting kills. Here's JJ on his rebomb, takes Rogue to 1 HP, but gets cleaned up by Zukima just in time, keeping that medic alive. And both teams have very few players alive, but Krusty Krab spawners are faster.
Yeah, finally Rogue doesn't go down, but as you mentioned, Krusty Krab is going to have the better spawns in just the second. Scythe going down, that's a big pick to find. Vizzy going to decloak over by Toxic, and or maybe just wait for a pick. Oh, Zuki hears that, and going to find nothing there. Watterson, though, distracted. Demento takes advantage of that situation. MCM can still sit back and hold, and they're almost evening the clock.
Demento's on the point, but Sticky's over the top, going to take down Aaron's minis. Needs to get some ammo as Zuki takes down Scythe for what feels like the 3rd time in a row. We're going to see more players drop underneath Kresnik and Demento. Zuki might see these players, catch them out, and Demento is going to get shredded. Zuki on a 9k, or 7k, excuse me, gets Kresnik as well. As the Uber is forced by JJ. Good bomb in with spam from Jarrett as Uber is kind of gone in through Shutter with some players, but it has expired. RJ needs to get out of there, and that's a good Uber for us. Although they do lose Vizzy on the back end to a snipe and JJ to Stickies. Krusty Krab have Uber now to work with, but in the meantime, the time is even.
And Watterson's sitting up on his own team's bats, looking to see if maybe someone would gift him a kill. If he can maybe find a shot early, but no, the Uber comes out, coming through Shutter. Demento finds a shot onto Triple, and MCM need to leave, and they need to leave early. This could go Krusty Krab's favor. You never know in this post-Uber, but...
They have 60%, and the time is 20 seconds for them, so they need to keep their medic alive. Krusty Krab's on the point here. Marty and Zuki are dead. It's a done deal on that one. Rogue needs to stay alive. Science on him! He needs this pick! It's so close! And the arrows! Oh, but there's Vizzy on the back end! Finds the crucial pick. They needed that one. Rogue gonna lose his full Uber advantage, and it's 30 seconds for Krusty Krab left, only 13 for MCM, but they're not gonna have Uber for this. They need to dry it, and they need to focus well.
Yeah,
Blake needs to die in the next 15 seconds, otherwise this run's over.
Yeah, absolutely. Blake building fast. Penguin coming over towards bats. Maybe they'll send him. No, he's just waiting right now. Maybe looking to pressure point and then bats. Send Penguin in late. Zuki goes down. Here
air blast by Martian's Penguin. Reflect air shot on him. Gonna deny that Soldier's threat as Blake 90%. There's JJ in the backline. Billy's gonna take care of people. No spy either. 95 for Blake. Gonna get that Uber and pop onto point. It's a solo onto Scythe. Duo onto Jarrett. Everyone's getting flashed now. Cleanup is in. Triple Marty dropping. Demento was the trade center sniper, but all the MCM players are going down. It's just Rogue, and that is the 2-1 lead for Krusty Krab off of that clutch pick by Scythe and Vizzy onto Rogue at the end.
I don't know.
It's incredible how well MCM holds when Rogue can stay alive.
Yeah.
We saw them come down about a minute and a half down on the clock and pretty much even that out almost exactly, and yet Rogue just cannot keep his life right now. And I think part of the reason their defense is so
He's
good...
going down again.
As we saw...
He's dead again to JJ.
JJ
Come
does
on.
it again.
I'm tilted at this point. Like... here's the counter from Penguin, but that one doesn't get Blake. Quick living at 1, but there's Aaron. Yip Yapper getting the shotgun onto the low HP medic, so that's what they needed. Everyone's dead again, but Krusty Krab has more players this time. Gonna be able to cap this up so long as MCM aren't madmen and running the point. JJ, 1 HP. Ooh, actually gonna live here, so good by him. There's the cap, although neither medic is alive, so we're gonna be waiting here for a bit, unless MCM want to get aggressive fast.
I do want to finish off that point, though, that I think part of the reason MCM's hold is so good because of how aggressive Zuki is playing, and that puts so much more pressure on Billy and Triple to go denying on the soldier bombs, and it might not be something they're ready for.
Yeah, definitely probably catching them. But speaking of catching them, Evil going to get that stab onto Blake. Great opening. Feels like the first time Blake has died in a really bad position. And now they're going to walk forward onto point. MCM finding Kresnik. They have people on point. Here's JJ in. 1 rocket. Can't find the next onto Rogue. Taken down. The bomb into 6 people. Doesn't work this time. As Scythe fighting on the flank. Going to be able to live on that one jumping back. MCM, they have player and heal advantage, but they haven't capped yet. So this is a bit of wasted time right now. They have 100% Uber, and Rogue wants to keep it. So finally the cap is going up. Krusty Krab going to reset. And that's a recapture after a minute off the clock. 50 seconds, rather.
Yeah, Demento trying to get something done from Shutter, but MCM staying aware, don't want to give up an easy shot. And now Krusty Krab have rotated over towards bats as they start to spam around. We'll have to keep an eye on any bombs, any sacks for Rogue because of just how successful they've been. Looks like the whip is coming from JJ.
I see Vizzy and I see JJ. Vizzy and JJ are going to go on this. One rocket gets reflected, can't find it. Vizzy's decloak is a bit late. He does find Marty, but Rogue's in the dispenser, so he'll be fine. They will now pop onto point here. Blake only at 70%, gonna get hurted backwards. One rocket, Penguin can't find the second, and he's gonna live for now. Billy going down on the chase, as that's pretty much what Krusty Krab wanted. They got their force, and they kept all the players alive as they look to re-push here.
And I'm curious to see if MCM will send. Yes, they do. Penguin finds one, forces the Uber out of Blake, and Rogue has to run away. Good job by Aaron, just body blocks a little bit. Makes Syath have to push through Aaron before he can get to Rogue. So Rogue's going to survive for now, at least, with advantage. And MCM will look to keep him alive and hopefully get a successful push.
Krusty Krab are trying to adapt a bit with their defense. We see Kresnik and Jarrett now holding forward on point. It's not underneath bats, but Kresnik on this box needs to get some support. You're gonna get shipped down by Triple, 1 HP. Wrangled Mini does stave him off for now as Kresnik needs to get healed now. It's gonna be a walkout for MCM. They have a bit of an advantage as JJ comes in and gets the pick onto Waterston, so sniper advantage for Krusty Krab. They're walking forward here trying to deny the space as Rogue is 100% Uber now. You're gonna have to pop out and save players, but Zuki has been dropped in the meantime.
Yeah, a number of players down for Krusty Krab, but Syath is still up. He's in the back line, as well as Vizzy, who, waiting for that Uber to fade, might go in for something. Syath could be a problem because there he goes, taking down Waterston, coming through the telly. So now on ramp, I think you just give him some space and let him walk into you at this point. But Aaron's going to come back to help Zuki deal with him. A point goes in MCM's favor as Krusty Krab yet again set up to drop down from bats and take a fight.
Evil and entry onto Exo, so no more rebuilt minis once that first one goes down for now. As 100% Uber by Blake, they have a 50% ad and they know it as well. Evil gonna drop to Demento on that one, so unfortunate for him. Going forward as the Uber is in from Jarrett and Blake here. Gonna be a flash onto side. They're gonna try to chase these players back. They find RJ trying to jump out, can't quite get out. As Rogue went down on the back end again. I didn't even see who it was this time.
It
but
was.
the full
It
cleanup
was.
is
Who do you think it was?
Okay, well, we'll say it's JJ Slim and call it a day. That's probably in the double digits now for sure.
Oh, this is, yeah, I can't wait to look at those logs. It's going to be painful.
I shouldn't have to ask who it was. Oh, Demento just Waterston. I want that one. I'll take that one any day.
Well, yeah, Demento may be feeling himself a little bit. We saw Waterston get a little aggressive when he was building his confidence and take that shutter peek. Now a lot of picks going in Krusty Krab's favor. MCM are going to have their numbers back up in just a second, but they are down 30 seconds. And if they don't cap here, if Krusty Krab take this, they've won 2-0 and forced the bracket reset going into another week of Highlander.
Yeah, assuming we're first to 3 here, I do believe we will be for now. It's going to be Kresnik forward on the point as Demento loses that assist for now, but Waterston's going to take the back end as the stick comes in and kills him. JJ jumping over, finally gets denied, but people are forward on point. Zuki and Kresnik trading in that shutter area, so neither heavy in for this fight. It's 20 seconds left for Krusty Krab as both teams have Uber. MCM need to win this one cleanly if they want to stop this point from going over to Krusty Krab on this. Here's the Uber in.
Yeah, and Triple and RJ are going to be the two numbers that are called, doing a good job keeping them alive. Oh, JJ goes down in the back line. Blake is forced to run back over towards ramp, yeah. And Triple trying to do as much as he can, but there are 3 players.
Oh, headshot by Demento from bats. They not keeping that scout alive could hurt them in the back end. Demento rolling off headshots. Triple and Marty going down. A side drops down, but ooh, counter headshot eaten as Evil gets the cleanup. Kresnik and Blake going down. That's the stab and shoot combo onto Krusty Krab, and that pick will buy them an extra life into this round. Here's the bomb from JJ. Ooh, doesn't get that pick this time on Rogue. Gets taken very low. Sack not effective as Penguin gets Demento and Jarrett in the back end, but their life is extended here. 1.5 minutes for MCM to hold. They have a good advantage on the Uber, so we're going to see if they can pull this one off.
Something small. MCM actually waited to cap the point until they got their spawn. So they actually delayed Krusty Krabs just a little bit, and they were able to get their spawners up early, but that's not going to help when Penguin goes down over on the back lines, sitting over in ramp. So already a player disadvantage. Evil in a rough spot, might have to worry about him as JJ bombs over onto the side.
Tried to stair stab Zukima. Did not work out. Ooh, but Zuki taking damage from Kresnik, Scythe, and Jarrett. He's going to get taken down early, so if he's not going to be in for this defense. The trait is Jarrett, though. That's a very important pick to lose. Triple getting that cleanup, but Triple's very low. Rogue gets sniped by Demento on that angle, and that's super big. That's an Uber dropped. Will not be able to have that one to defend. Blake, 65%. All Krusty Krab needs is one more cap.
Call Demento the closer. He was popping off at the end just before Krusty Krab, or sorry, just before MCM capped the point. Now gets the body shot onto Rogue. Might have secured his team this round. Vizzy backstabs Waterston. That's a huge
It's so free to walk in off of. No sniper to worry about. It's all on MCM's forward hold here.
This is scary. Rogue in a, Zuki in a rough spot. Yeah, and now Rogue's gonna try to back out. He's on quick fix. I think.
JJ, one rocket takes down Rogue. Why not end the game that way?
But 2 players left for Krusty Krab. 2.
That's a great cleanup from RJ, Aaron, Penguin, all of them getting in on this.
Oh my god!
Capture for them. The Uber head doesn't matter.
I have no words.
Jarrett dying there is the problem.
Yeah,
Blake
Jarrett
went to go
dropped
flash everyone, but when you don't have that demo and you're just taking your pyro, scout heavy, and you don't have that AoE damage that you need to fully route them on ramp, it's really only a single target, and MCM's able to perfectly kite back and close back in.
It was a great collapse from them onto that point, but we are into the next round. This could be the last round. Watterson gets the entry snipe onto Demento, but JJ and Scythe have combined onto RJ, and another Penguin going down on the back end. Watterson finds the counter snipe onto Jarrett, so no Demo Man to work with. Despite the early flank pressure, it will be MCM with control of the point. This time, Exa is the last person here, doing some wrangling, probably going to die here. Will it get cleaned up in the end? And that's the point for MCM. Neither medic dropped, but this is the first mid fight I feel like they've won cleanly.
Yeah, that's the first time I think maybe almost any team has won cleanly. I think maybe Krusty Krab managed one.
Yeah, they won one wipe.
But either way, now we've got 100% Uber for both sides. Watterson, he's rung off his third headshot already. Yeah,
Zuki just claims Demento and Exa. He always peeks this and kills the people underneath.
Like we are really witnessing an awesome matchup right now. Knotted up 2-2. This, like you said, could be the last round. If MCM win this, we go to steal 100% over. Oh, and Watterson takes down Jarrett. That's the
dropping Jarrett is the name of the game here, as the fist heavy gonna soak up all that damage. Uber's worthless for Krusty Krab. They're all out of there. RJ getting some stickies, and that's gonna be a clean hold. Watterson does go down to JJ on the back end, so good job getting that sniper advantage to work with. Jarrett's gonna walk out. Demento's gonna walk out here, finds a headshot, a lot of damage in. Zuki and Triple getting cleanup kills, though Evil as well. Revolver onto Kresnik, and what they thought they could walk out on because there are no snipers, actually a trap. They eat all the damage. That said, Demento in the back end does find the cleanup onto Triple, and Aaron goes down to some stickies. So that's long spawn timers for the NG Scout duo as the repush is in. Okay, Jarrett just dies against Watterson. I feel like they need to watch out for that sniper silent again.
I wonder too, like the momentum, the hype after winning a round like that, MCM have to be really fired up because they know everything is in their favor at this point. Watterson, he's having a huge round. I think that's already his 5th kill as he takes down Demento. Jarrett picked yet again, Evil coming in, so Triple does go down. That could be a problem for MCM down the road, but right now they've got this forward hold and it's working so well. 1:40 off the clock.
Yep, watch out for Vizzy in the backline though. Rogue has Uber, both medics gonna look to pop here. Vizzy's not gonna get checked in this location, almost never will. So it's all gonna be about what Krusty Krab do here. Do they go for a sack, or do they trade right away?
Oh, and Aaron actually does catch out Vizzy. Now just gonna chill out onto the roof. Ubers get used, Demento down again. Oh, Watterson! There goes Exa. This Uber is better for MCM just off those picks, but
they drop RJ and Watterson on the back end. JJ getting those kills, gets another onto Penguin. Big cleanup from all of the Krusty Krab members as they go into that point. RJ was just left out to drive it and got walked forward by Billy, so great job singling out that target. Rogue gets out alive, but that is the point flip. Problem for Krusty Krab is they've already lost almost 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, that's a lot to have to ask of your team, but look how forward they are.
They are
all the way up
so
in the lobby. Yeah, I definitely like the high risk, high reward. Demento down early.
No reward there.
Yeah, exactly. Evil, he'll be happy with that trade because that's really the biggest threat.
JJ's got both pick classes in the back line, so big play by him to buy his team some rotation time. Bomb in from Penguin, gonna get stumped on that roof area as Rogue and RJ are underneath. Zuki on top covering his teammates as they're all now gonna drop down towards that house area, finally peeking around. JJ going down finally on the back end to Marty as Penguin gets the nest down. Marty finds Vizzy as well as the Ubers are in here.
Yeah, the earlier Uber for Krusty Krab, but good milk from Rogue. Just waited, popped now, and they have a huge advantage. Oh my god, Penguin. Look at the frags.
4K.
Penguin just going huge on the ramp. All that cleanup damage. Hit rocket, shoot feet. That's all you got to do. They only took a minute off the clock, and now MCM take it back. They need 30 seconds to bring us into steal.
Yep, and Blake died at the end of that to that big AoE cluster, so Rogue gonna have about a 50% advantage to work with here. All they gotta do is get it and hold. Krusty Krab are gonna have to dry push this for their life and hold. Demento taken down at the start though. That's not very good for them. RJ with that stickies. I do believe it was a trap, so gonna come out here. It looks like the Bats Roll is the choice for Krusty Krab. It's 70% for Rogue. If he can get this, it's over.
Watterson goes down. Big pick from Vizzy. Actually, Penguin wants to deal with that.
Jared!
gets Jarrett!
Oh no! You hate to see it. 2 seconds left, and Marty keeps them off the point.
Oh no, they don't even get on. Uber doesn't even get needed to pop, and that's MCM with the 3-2. That's the map. And out of nowhere, from what it seems, we're going to 3.
I just can't believe the comeback from MCM in that one round. It looked like it was over, and just all the supporting characters just managed to find the kills in the backline. Krusty Krab only had 2 players left, bring us into round 3, and I feel like that one wasn't even close, or round 5 rather, and that one wasn't even close.
I don't have the stats up quite yet, but I want to just hold tab here. Jarrett, 122 points, ahead of anyone by 15. 122 points, 5 rounds. That man could not catch a break in that final round. He was always dead to sniper heavy, something stupid. Catching him in a bad place, it is just so unfortunate for him because he was doing so much work, and it seemed like he just vanished in that last round, and Krusty Krab couldn't quite make up for it.
Oh man, JJ had 45 kills.
I want those logs and see the medic picks.
Oh,
that
JJ goes
must suck
45
for
and
JJ.
13. Jarrett goes 32 and 21 with 50% more damage than RJ, and yet it's just not enough.
Yeah, Jarrett,
Overall-
627.
Overall, Rogue only had 2 more deaths than Blake.
All of them were to JJ, though.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, you think about how many times Rogue died in the rounds that they lost, right?
That's true.
If
The
you're
round they
losing
won
the
was a lot
round,
better.
right? It doesn't matter if you die 1 time in a round and lose it, or you die 9 times in a round and lose it, right? Once that round timer switches over, those deaths essentially don't mean anything anymore. So Rogue played, he showed up when he needed to, right? He had those really bad 2 rounds. Maybe that 4th round that had the really big comeback, he started to pick it back up, and then in the last round he played fine, and Blake was the one dying. Jarrett was, I guarantee you, half of Jarrett's deaths come in the last 2 rounds.
It's really interesting how that one shook out, because we're looking at the logs here. The flank difference is pretty much as big as you could think, right? 45 kills for JJ, 39 for Scythe, compared to 25 and 30 for Triple and Penguin. More damage across the board. It was a really impressive performance from them. But on the other side, Waterson and Evil outperformed their counterparts by a ton. Evil even almost doubling Vizzy's frags on that. So that pretty much negated that disadvantage. And then it just came down to a combo v combo fight. And in the clutch, it looked like MCM just had a better game plan. They played better together.
And the Highlander teams trade each other's maps yet again.
Fun.
Wouldn't be a 2-1 without it. And now Steel is always the toss-up. The last map's always the toss-up. Doesn't matter who picked this one.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see both of these 2 teams play Steel. Because
I
if
really
I
hope that the
recall,
mental's good.
their regular season matches weren't too meaningful at this point on Steel either. So this
Yeah, it was
may
last
be
week,
some of
wasn't
this may be some of the first really important Steel gameplay either of these 2 teams play. I don't believe any of them played it earlier in the playoffs, or at least not, against the team that was contesting them, I guess. So, if we've seen MCM play things a little bit differently than, we've seen on the meta on both Vigil and on Ashville, right? Ashville with Tsukima playing so aggressively under bats, and then, with maybe committing to a bit of a harder third hold on Vigil. And if you're gonna keep going with some interesting adaptations to play, Steel's the map to do it on. So I'm so excited to be here.
I'm gonna steal a joke from the chat real quick. I see why they call him Amanda Panda 45 Woot, because he got 45 frags there and still lost the game. So a bit unfortunate.
That's not a woot. That's a sad face.
It's a sad face.
Oh, poor JJ.
Yeah, but that does feel bad for JJ. And I'm sure it feels bad for Jarrett too, because I guarantee he felt like he was dominating that entire game. He completely outperformed RJ in almost every category. And then when it came down to it in the clutch round, it just feels like he didn't get to play the game. I really hope, and we know that the Candy combo, Jarrett Kresnik, they're a strong bunch, especially from all the Highlander they've played. They'll come back from this. I really hope that they are completely ready. They're going to mental reset from losing that, and they'll be able to come back in here. Because they got to remember, they took MCM's map. Even if they lose their own, it all comes down to this. Both teams right now reset their mental. This is the best of 1 now on Steel.
Definitely. I think, too, with Kresnik, like, he's such a leader that if any of the players are feeling tilted, and I don't think Krusty Krab really have too many players that fit that bill, but definitely if you're Kresnik, you're kind of calming everyone down, like, yeah, look, that's rough, it's a bummer, but look, we already won the first stopwatch map in Vigil. they thought that was going to go their way, and we completely destroyed them. Well, in a sense, they were very close rounds, but still heartbreaking ones for MCM. So you know deep down that like you've probably been in this position before. You've come back to win a series. So Krusty Krab absolutely have everything to play for at this point.
Everything indeed, because even if they win this, they still got to go next week and do it again. So MCM, they want to close this out now. They want to be the Highlander champions, whereas Krusty Krab, they want to stay alive here. Both teams have so much on the line. We're down to a best of 1 on Steel. I believe we're going to be playing a best of 3, so you need 2 halves to win successfully. And everyone's going to need to bring their A game here.
I want to see some A game. Literally.
A to E game.
I want to see those A holds. I want to see Bobby Kresnik go for his patented Tomislav sneak play hiding on the rocks.
That's so telling.
I want to see the Iron Man.
Oh man, yeah.
But maybe they won't expect it after all this, you know? Maybe that slips their minds.
There's no way he's gonna do that in grand finals. That would be trolling. Kresnik wouldn't troll.
I definitely want to see some shenanigans. I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe if they're forced to try to hold hold A for some reason because they did get capped A to E somehow. If they manage to cap AE somehow, maybe they go for it. But yeah, I have to imagine. I want to see some creative stuff, but probably within the realm of possibility. Although being able to watch that unfold, whether successful or not, would be so amazing.
I want to talk a bit about side choice here because MCM, this is their map, so I do believe that Krusty Krab gets to choose side, and they're going to choose offense here. I think setting the pace in a situation like this can be good for a team like K&D, because if they can get off what they want to get off while MCM is playing standard, then they'll have a pretty good chance of winning. Normally, I'm in favor of defense first, because that way you get to see what the enemy team has and respond accordingly, but I feel like Krusty Krab is going to be able to put out what they want to put out here on Steel and make it really tough for MCM.
I hope that going for this means that they have some kind of interesting play coming out, right? I feel like if you're playing standard, you almost always want to go defense, especially on Steel, because knowing exactly how much time you have and knowing when you're going to need to pull out the AE or the ABE, is so important just for for your main caller to know that and have an idea of how much time is going on. But if you go offense first, then that tells me that, either you're feeling really confident and you want to blitz them right off the bat, be that with an unconventional strategy or not, or again, you have something that you think is going to put them on tilt or catch them out on defense maybe, and you don't want to give that away in the first half and give them time to adapt to it.
Yeah, so this could be a big gamble for Krusty Krab choosing this side, but it could also pay off in spades here, as Steel, very snowballing map, and because rounds can go either really quick or really slow, how you set your first pace does a lot for the mental game of the rest of the map. So we're going to see if they do have anything special up their sleeves like we want to see.
Well, because we have a little extra time, I know the players are probably grabbing some water. We're grabbing water, just kind of like taking a breather from the crazy Highlander that's been played. We haven't actually done predictions because the maps have started generally early, which we're thankful for.
Yeah, we weren't waiting in pregame.
Exactly. So what are we thinking? What are we thinking for Steel? Like this could decide it. Does MCM pull off, I guess, the reverse sweep and take grand finals? Does Krusty Krab manage to take it at the 11th hour?
I'm throwing a 2-1 for Krusty Krab here. I think that their performance on Vigil showed me that they've taken this seriously. They've put enough effort into this, and that if I feel like the Ashville win again is always the classic, like, your first map pick. You're like, oh, we're gonna win this. We're really good at this map, and then you sleep on it, don't practice it enough, and get caught out by unconventional stuff like what Zukima did on Heavy. But I feel like on Steel, with the experience that Kresnik and Jarrett have, the importance of being able to make good calls, especially with Demento on Sniper, having previously played Spy, and having mentored Vizzy kind of in live time on what he needs to do, I'm throwing my money on the Vets here, and I think that they have a little bit more fire because they are not the type of players that want to, go down without at least equalizing the bracket.
Zuki, your thought? Or sorry, Zuki and Zagron, your thoughts?
It's so close to call. I definitely would. I'm gonna say 3, no matter what. We're going the full distance because why not? I'm gonna give it to Man Crush Monday. I think they're just a better team overall this season. They have what it takes to go the distance. I feel like a lot of their key players are going to be popping off this map, whereas some of them may not have been able to on previous maps. And I think that a lot of the advantage that Krusty Krab might have, we might see them be a bit, I don't want to say, neutered, but a bit equalized by Steel, because it's so hard to be aggressive or creative on this map compared to the other ones. So I'm going to say 2 on MCM, although I would not be surprised either way.
Yeah, I'm going to throw my weight behind what Zag said. I'm thinking 2-1, a close one, no doubt, and I don't think we'll know a winner until very late in this one. But the gates do open on the potential final map of Season 6 of Highlander. A is going to get capped, no big deal, and we'll see how Krusty Krab choose to push after that.
Hexa's got his level 3 sentry gun on A, as well as 5x5 on the cap right now. Looks like Spy's going to roll it this way as well. Vizzy going to try to probably cloak in here as the main force of Krusty Krab, their combo, just kind of waiting here. So I think the AE play, or whatever they're going to try to do with this gun, is going to come in before they really get ready to push.
And reminder of X's preferred strategy here of actually going around into C and putting the gun behind in Wishbone and then getting a telly onto C to help with B flanking. Something that, we see him do pretty frequently, but not a lot of other teams ever really seem to have decided to copy.
Yep, and here's the E pressure right now. We got Scythe on the cap, JJ pressuring the door, and X is setting up the gun in heaven, actually, and he's got a teleporter building as well, so looks like they're going aggressive here. And Vizzy going back and stopping RJ from sparing the points, so that's a really big pick. We're going to have to see what the front end of Krusty Krab going to do. Looks like they're just kind of sitting around waiting for that pressure. Evil goes down as well to Exa. Can't get that gun out of the top of the nest, so they might be a bit worried here.
Triple managed to get it with like a long-range scatter because the Sapper was still on. So this is a possibility for MCM to hold, and with Syeth and JJ backing up, it looks like
look at the front end. They had to back 3 players up, and now Krusty Krab are in here. Jarrett went up and killed Watterson with some stickies, and that's free B. That's what good AE pressure does for you. B is literally free here.
Well, Exit now level 2 gun wrangled, trying to make sure he can stop MCM
even
at
if he
the
dies
spawn.
Here, perfectly fine.
Yeah, and you managed to grab B, and at this point, MCM have to back up, hold C. The good news for MCM is that they didn't fall completely for the trap, and now that they can have a solid C hold and have some sort of defense on E. But great start for Krusty Krab nonetheless.
Yep, and they're going to have all these players lined up in Wishbone. They got to watch out for the sticky trap. It does get checked, going to get cleaned up, but there is still 2 here. That can drop a medic if they're not careful. Going to do a lot of damage to Jarrett, but he will stay alive here as pressure coming out into Wishbone. Looks like they're actually going to try to get people onto E here as Demento's out here. Evil going to get the stab onto side. There's no scout to jump and cap, and they're just kind of posturing in Wishbone here.
Aaron and Penguin going to try to deal with Amanda Panda up top. Gonna manage to do just that. Jarrett
they're
trying to lob some
stickies because
stickies.
they have a gun here. It doesn't feel like they want to walk into C so far.
I mean, maybe they're trying to force MCM's hand again, try to defend E and then get back into E or C. But actually, the Uber gets used. Zuki goes down as well as Aaron and Penguin. Frag's going way in the favor of Krusty Krab. It doesn't look like C has really much of a defense either. So Kresnik's going to scout.
They're only 4 up right now on MCM. They dropped a lot of players to that post as JJ cleans up Watterson and Evil. Jarrett getting the spell with the Penguin. And it looks like they're going to opt to walk into C with that numbers advantage. That's the safe play. But counter Uber is out from MCM here. RJ trying to find what he can. Finds Jarrett and Kresnik with a pipe sticky combo. Big play from him. And pipes onto Blake. RJ gets that pick before he dies. Watterson cleaning up Jarrett. And that's the exact repush that MCM needed to secure this off of that Mantis ad. They are definitely happy with how this one went.
Well, maybe RJ heard her during the break talking how Jarrett outplayed him in every category, because that's a highlight reel play there. Made something out of nothing, a solo Uber, manages
Great
3,
sap.
Including the medic. Just fantastic from RJ.
Evil gets the sap on the gun, and with a peek from his heavy in Zukima, they do get that gun killed as well as a pick onto the sniper. But that will be a bit of a reset as both teams have 40% Uber. Pyro versus Scout fight, not going to work well for Billy as he does go down to triple. And it looks like now E-Pressure is the name of the game for Krusty Krab. They got a level 1 being wrangled, and they have JJ up in heaven, so it's looking pretty good to draw some pressure here. What is the response from MCM?
Yeah, now Aaron going down, Demento getting a headshot onto him. Penguin wants to deal with JJ, knows he's low. RJ helping out. Penguin, Zuki, and
4
triple
kills again.
Yeah, this could be the E-hold now from Krusty Krab. They've got their players in.
Scout, that's crucial.
Oh yeah, that's a huge pick. Only ×1 now, and they can just spam Billy off.
Yep, that's a perfect denial on that. Even though they lose 4 players, Krusty Krab can't quite capitalize. It looks like now they're going to take C with that rotation coming in, and this should be the point cap from them, but should are all words that I can say as Uber is being popped out here. MCM very early. They need to force this and live.
Yeah, triple going for Jarrett, and Blake actually chooses to use. I don't know if that was just a call, like they wanted to use it. Well, either way, they'll keep all their players alive. MCM now need to try to hold D. I think if you're MCM, you're kind of happy because that could have fallen apart a lot earlier. But at this point, Krusty Krab have all the advantage, and they've come out really strong on Steel, which is really not much of a surprise. Waterston finds Demento, and Jarrett goes down to Evil, so maybe not all in Krusty Krab's favor just yet.
Yeah, although that said, the attacker spawns are much faster at this point. We're going to have to see where Krusty Krab decides to go. Looks like they're all stacked Wishbone. They have that lobby option as Waterston is stared at Wishbone here. Triple finds Vizzy, and where's Waterston? Hitting the shot into Jarrett. Gets traded by JJ. Good bomb from him, and Mini is down as well. So Heaven trying to be taken. Aaron going to win that fight, though, onto JJ and get the resub. It's now about rushing into the lobby, but MCM has full control of it.
And this is always a tough position when you're on defense, but Kresnik maybe a little too aggressive, and Penguin finds 2, finds 3, he gets Blake in it, and just like that, Krusty Krab, their numbers are low. MCM have a chance now. They've got to balance on the rest of these players.
Yeah, Gun gets the kill onto the scout, but those players do get cleaned up. No health after the medic is dead, so the full point, it's capped about halfway. Dropping every second as MCM do get that hold, and they have a full Uber advantage to work with, but they are dropping players. JJ finding Aaron, Marty, and there's Demento winning the SVS onto Waterston. Defensive spawns are so long here. Zuki wins that onto JJ in Heaven, but drops afterwards. Sure, MCM have Uber, but they gotta have people to pop on here.
Yeah, and we'll see if RJ can come up big yet again. Billy Soares!
Billy!
Oh, RJ!
Jump up! He's dead! Oh, he's on the pipe!
He made it on the pipe. Oh, now he's
but
dead.
there's Evil in the backline taking care of Blake once again. All that distraction does give them cleanup kills, and now it's only 2 dead for MCM. They gotta collapse onto this point. Oh no, Sticky's on the head of the scout. Gonna put him in the pit as Jarrett gets sniped out by Waterston, doing a great job here. Make that a second onto Demento as Kresnik gets cleaned up. Vizzy gonna stab triple as the trade there. JJ finds the engineer on defense coming through, but it is going to be another reset coming in. MCM spawns are long though on triple and Aaron. They're gonna be only 7 people up as the point cappers are back on.
And there's JJ Amanda Panda up back in that same perch. Might be able to take Penguin down. No, it has to retreat all the way spawn.
No Uber for this. They have sack.
Yeah, time 6 on the point. MCM, if they have a good collapse. Whoa!
Oh, double
go a number of players.
I feel like the Heavy's got double donked off the point by RJ right now, and the point is cleared off that. It's so close to being capped, but with RJ still alive and at full HP, he's the biggest man on the E right now.
Look at those numbers. Yeah, MCM's so low down, but RJ, like you said, he's the big man. He's got to stay tanked. If they can keep him alive from Syeth and Waterston continuing to go for good shots, and there comes the Uber. You have to use it at this point. I think MCM know this is going to be a hard
this is bad
thing
positioning for them. They need to get out of this. Oh, good surf by Rogue there, but he's in the skybox. Ooh, another surf. Can he get out? He's so close, but the point is the issue here. Rogue gonna drop in the end as all of Krusty Krab's players are on point. Only 5 up for MCM. It's been a good last defense, but it's about to come to an end.
Yeah, I think MCM knew when they were using that Uber, like this was the last hurrah, bleed as much time as possible, but they are super happy with how the ending turned out. About 8 minutes, 7:52. And, you know, I'd take that, especially with the start that they had.
That's standard here for an A to E, or A through E, and all around the world as we call it. They didn't get D, but it's close.
Yeah, I'd say if you're MCM, you're happy with this. This is within average range, but it's nearing on a longer defense, where, you know, once you really break 8 minutes, that's when you really expect a lot of the higher level invite teams to be capping in 6-7 minutes on average. So 7:52 is going to give them a little bit more breathing room, which is definitely going to be good for them, because they really want to come out and try to, you know, carry the momentum in from Asheville, snag this half. If we see another decent hold from MCM, you know, get turned around by Krusty Krab like we saw on Vigil, then, you know, who knows how that's going to turn out if they get the momentum right back. But I really want to. I saw Krusty Krab. I felt like try the same thing over and over again and just wait until, you know, their DM worked it out.
Yeah,
the AE was so smart, right? But after that, it just felt like a really standard push. So if MCM's able to maybe come out with something a little bit more original, it might help them a lot into securing this first round.
Yeah, they got the Krusty Krab got the free B push, and yet they kept trying Wishbone over and over until they finally got the E cap. So I guess that's what they planned. That's what they wanted to do. They weren't comfortable with the lobby rotation. But either way, the 8-minute time, 7.5 now is what they got to beat.
Yeah, and there's still so much pressure on MCM. Like Alto said, or both of you said, it's average, probably bordering a little bit high. That doesn't mean that you feel comfortable with it. There's still a lot of pressure on you. MCM, obviously, the caliber of players that they're not going to let that get to them.
Aaron's
goes
gun
down.
got sniped. That was a really good play with Demento. He knew that they're going to try to move a gun in, so try and snipe that engineer out early. And it will be right now just Penguin and Evil in the back lines, as the tele is going to get built, but it's going to be the front line that you have to worry about here.
Yeah, definitely Demento finding the good timing. Zuki starting to work his way up the stairs. There's going to be Jarrett to try to stop him. Going to be already a little low in health, and actually Uber gets used. We'll see. MCM are probably using this just to make sure they can get some positioning. Triple bonk again, distract the gun. It goes down, and maybe opportunity to get B. Although Evil and Watterson both down. Oh, Evil spawn now.
Yeah, here's the flank from Penguin though. Air blast by Marty, one. Another air blast from Marty, and Penguin can't find anything. Zuki going down on that push, as well as Watterson getting cleaned up by Syath. Triple as well, cleaned up by the Tomislav of Kresnik. And that's going to be a pretty stalwart defense
Aaron's
from Krusty
behind
Krab.
and Wishbone alone.
Oh no!
There he goes.
It's a mini sentry.
Yeah, that'll kill someone. Wait, you watch. Syath is trying to fight it, but can't walk into that mini. Will get some help, some spam. Gonna walk at Aaron now. He's gonna die in a second. Might not even look at it. Jarrett coming in with the stickies onto Watterson. Aaron finally gets taken down on the back end as JJ gets more rocket damage in on the guns. And it looks like a lot of damage onto Kresnik. He's gonna have to get back and get healed. Zuki has the high ground on B here as Penguin in, gets shut down by Syath. Not gonna work on that flank as the Uber is in here.
Yeah, another attempt for MCM. Good job by Kresnik and Billy, though. They're denying all of the space for MCM. They want to rotate the other way, but they're going to walk into the rocket of JJ. Will go down to RJ afterwards, but maybe MCM have bought themselves enough space, still having trouble cracking this B defense. And at what point do you say, okay, we have to send more pressure E, really fake them out?
Yeah, it's been really uninspired from MCM so far. They've had, solo flankers, Aaron alone, Penguin alone. It hasn't been enough to draw any rotations or any pressure. We do right now have Penguin on, but as Evil finds a stab onto Jarrett, that could be the entry they need. Zuki's gonna peek high ground here. Watterson finds Kresnik as well. This is the opening that MCM need to take B as Krusty Krab are herded backwards. Gun gonna be the last bastion here as Pyro's staying out too long. Billy gonna get cleaned up. Bit of a mistake from him. Gun down, and that's B captured. Demento's sticking around for a bit of a cheesy shot. They see him though. Should die here. Gets taken down. Only 4 for Krusty Krab. That backup could have been cleaner.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Demento getting maybe a little over aggressive, could have chosen a better angle to be able to retreat to spawn if you don't hit it. But Watterson now posted up, taking a look at the spawn.
Oh, they're recontesting with Uber through B.
They came back around. Yeah, the other side of spawn. We thought it was a foregone. So did MCM. They thought it was a foregone conclusion.
Each other. As now it's Uber for Rogue. They're going to have the full advantage here as Blake used his scout out of spawn. But they're stuck in this choke by Billy. And they can't get out. They're stuck here. Zuki finally getting that Pyro dead. But he gets cleaned up by Jarrett. That was such a strange play. Here's Penguin in trying to clean up Blake. Gets the 2 rockets he needs. And we're still fighting. There's the heavy going down to the front line. Kresnik's dead. And this should finally be captured. Yeah. Rogue.
That's another minute off the clock, though.
Yeah.
That's just bad play from MCM. I don't think there's any way around it. Feeling a little bit too comfortable in that B cap. Vizzy, at most he gets a cheeky backstab here, but sometimes that's all you need to slow things down, and he's definitely getting some information. So Aaron is already on C. He's gonna get pushed back, but some space maybe from MCM to maybe get on E and get players over towards C as well.
Looks like they're going to try to just wishbone posture again. They want to get aggressive here. Spy right now. Evil waiting for a peek in so you can get a big pick. Someone wants to walk there and contest him. Azuki does get killed by Jarrett. Sticky's on the front. Syath is underneath here. He's trying to fight his way out. And Demento loses the SS to Watterson as Syath does escape. Vizzy finds his pick onto Watterson in return. As now it's just more posturing in wishbone as Krusty Krab have lost 3. They're kind of vulnerable here with no sniper.
And Syath comes back into the fight, takes down RJ, does go down right after. This gun from X is doing work. Marty tried to jump onto the point and immediately got pushed. Luckily, he surfed onto that lower area, but still going to be a problem, especially now that it's level 3. They're going to need players to deal with it. Billy and Amanda Panda down. This might be opportunity for MCM.
That's pressure in through lobby. We see already MCM, they got their soldier and heavy pushing through, trying to fight the scout, although Busy is on Zukima's tail. If he can get this backstab, ooh, seen out. Good awareness by Zukima, and that's D control right now for MCM, and they're getting a lot of kills too. Waterston finds the snipe onto Kresnik in the meantime as the C push is in full force here. Uber got used by Rogue and Blake, but Blake dropped more of his players, and this is going to be C captured for MCM. It's 2.5 minutes left. It's going to come down to the wire.
Well,
Heaven bomb right now on the teleporter.
And MCM had to give up D because everyone on Krusty Krab started to come out and made sure that they focused.
Look at this Heaven shred
hold
coming out. They're getting 2. They should never get 2 here. Scythe and JJ dropping down. Remember, their spawns are incredibly long. Waterston finds Jarrett as well. Oh, look at all these players
Busy in the pit.
Penguin is living so long and they're getting damage, and that's more kills in. D, because of all the distraction on E, D is firmly held by MCM, and this is going to be 2 minutes to push E.
Now, what that's going to do, for people that don't know, that's going to lock out the close spawn for Krusty Krab, and with a minute or 30 seconds, they've got to get on this, though. They need more. Let's go. We got to get players on it. I don't know. Alto, you're the master. Can they cap this?
They definitely can. I mean, Steel's a 70-second minimum cap time, 30-second max with a ×5. They're still a minute and 40, so they definitely have time.
The pyro close.
But yeah,
my
Uber coming in
my
close
bad.
is really interesting here because Rogue is not going to have to pop here, so they're going to have to go right back in on this. They don't even get the force out on him. Vizzy's going to go down. They got a ton of frags here, so that's going to really help them stall. Maybe get some better positioning right now. They have control of this close Heaven area, but Waterson picking out Demento from the window is going to be putting so much pressure onto either fighting them in lobby right now as they get Marty, but Rogue, again, still on that Uber, so that's going to be the decider.
Force does find that force onto Rogue. It's just Rogue and Triple in enemy lines here. They need to find something or get out alive. They're trying to find Medic here as Triple finds those meat shots. He kills Blake, and that's no Uber for the defense coming in. That's a long respawn too, as now MCM are flooding for this advantage. They have a minute left to cap. Very doable at this stage. Heaven gonna get cleared out. Triple taking down Exa. Backhand spy in. Gonna get 2. Aaron and RJ going down. No, Demo Man could be big, but they need more cap time. Where's Triple? There he is. Gonna get onto the point. It's up to the Heavy to stall now. We have Zukima on the Heaven spot right now.
There's so much chaos going on. MCM are struggling to keep players on the point. Well, yeah, finally Jarrett goes down, but look at this, Kresnik spamming. They don't have the numbers to have people on point and also contest the players that are doing damage to them.
RJ's doing
Maybe
lots,
now
though.
a chance to collapse.
Yeah,
there goes Blake.
Penguin bombing off it, finds Blake and Scythe, Medic down again, and that should be
18?
it. No one can on point, it's just Pyro here, and gonna get that kill. It's gonna be the Uber in from Rogue. Takes it off to get the cap faster.
Wait, here comes JJ!
Bomb in, it's so close, it's 2
RJ!
It's just Hit the pipe! 7 seconds!
No
Evil,
way!
he needs to win this! Evil needs to win this! He wins it!
Is there time?
No, there isn't.
Oh my god!
Rogue took the Uber off and died to a mini sentry at 2 health when he still had like 30 or 40% left. And JJ gets the last second bomb, and oh my god.
That is the craziest round of Steel I think I've ever seen.
I can't believe that.
That is insane.
I can't believe that. I heard an instant ready up.
Yep.
Oh,
MCM want to go right back. Oh my god! After that loss,
that was theirs. They had that, and the fact that they didn't is definitely going to piss some players off. Like I don't care who you are. I don't care what experience you have when you lose something like that, when it was so firmly in your grasp too. Like they had 2 chances to close that out, and they failed on both attempts. Blake went to spec, so we probably have a little bit of time before we start.
We all need to catch our breath, honestly.
Nothing breaks you like close Steel losses, because on any other map you can think, oh well, this is just the result of the entire match. But this every single small misstep, misplay, every time one person walked into a site, they're gonna be like, was that it? Was that it? Did I just throw that for my team? I still remember a Steel match from 6 years ago where I was the only one up. I was in Heaven with Uber, and I popped it, and we were getting ABE'd, so the bridges weren't up yet. I did the jump from Heaven, strafed around towards Wishbone, and then I messed up the jump from Wishbone onto the point. And if I had made that, I would have ended the game, and I still have nightmares about that single play. We won the match. That only lost us a half, but it just goes to show how upsetting and just crushing those close losses can be. But on the other side, Krusty Krab are they're do you know how much adrenaline is pumping right there?
Yeah, like you said, Steel is like no other map. A loss on this hurts so much more because it does feel like Steel has a really random element to it. You know what I mean? Like you can put two evenly matched teams on it, and you'll get wildly different results. It never plays the same way unless you just have like the straight AE or something like that. And I think that's what makes it so much more of a dagger in your heart, because it really, the misplays are what turn into Steel victories, whereas you can usually come back from them a little bit more on other maps.
Yep. We can talk a little bit about these stats we have on the screen. There's two big storylines in my head about that half. First one, Waterson outclassed Demento. There's no other way to put it. Waterson took him to school on Steel. Steel Sniper is one of the hardest maps to play on Sniper because unlike a Koth traditional map or a payload map where everyone knows the angles, you know what you can peek, how you can peek, and like how free it is to get some of the angles off. Steel, you have to be creative. You have to be able to find the angles yourself. You have to be able to not die to spam when you're in the rest of your team. And Waterson just was miles above Demento in that regard. The second thing I'll talk about is the demo fight. RJ and Jarrett are the stars of this game so far, in my mind. They've been putting up so much damage, so many plays. RJ top fragging the server, whereas Jarrett's top damaging it. And at the end there, that RJ versus Jarrett fight on the point with pipes out, that determined the round win. Jarrett winning that, he wins the round. If RJ wins that, he wins the round.
It's crazy how much it can come down to that single fight, and lucky for maybe I don't want to say lucky, but good job on Krusty Krab that they were able to sustain that out just a little bit longer, because we really did come down to probably 3 to 4 seconds being the difference in that, especially because when you don't have a player on the point, that ticks down relatively quickly, so you actually begin to lose momentum when one of your players go down rather than just hit freezing for a second. But definitely still taking their time to talk about it. I mean, probably Krusty Krab, both teams have a lot to talk about because there were definitely plenty of mistakes that were exploited on both sides. There were very good plays made by both teams as well. So it's just about tightening that up and bringing your best effort into this next half.
Yep. All right, let's calm it down a bit. We got 1-0 for Krusty Krab on Steel. We've gone 1-1 in maps up to this point. This is the tiebreaker map for all of you joining in. 1-0 lead for Krusty Krab. If they take this next upcoming half, then we're reset on the bracket. We're going to another match next week to determine the grand final winners of Highlander Invite Season 6. If MCM can take the reverse sweep on this map, they will be the champions here and now.
It's a lot to play for, especially with that $1,000 prize pool on the line. MCM would like to secure the bag tonight rather than have to wait an entire week and potentially run into another problem as they are now. But 30 seconds left in setup. We did all predict a 2-1. We had differing opinions slightly on we all think it's going to be very close. So I mean, if that holds, MCM should take this, but we know just how crazy Steel can be. This could go Krusty Krab's way.
Yeah, I mean, and I think what I guess is good for them right here is that they're going to be on offense second. So they're going to have if they really have that killer drive that, they're going to need to win this match, they might, as long as they get a decent defense here, they're going to be able to execute on their own time, right? Something MCM was not able to do.
Axe's Dispense is only level 1 right now. That could be a bit worrying. It's a bit ill-placed, but it's just a bit of rush set. There's Zuki with the Buffalo Steak Fists out there. I can't believe he lives that. He took so much damage.
He's at 3!
Oh, well, that's good. That he survives. I like the attempt though. That's beautiful. Well, this time Aaron is on a level 3. I don't know if he had one last time when
he got sniped by Demento.
Okay, yeah, and then he switched to minis. Well, we'll see if Demento's able to find the timing. JJ is there as well as Vizzy to help stop this, but MCM have to be aware of the potential.
Yeah, here we're going to move the gun in. It looks like getting spam. RJ gets sniped by Demento on the other end, so MCM can't push through B. It's going to be focused on E for now as a bit of spam wars going on. Gun's being built in lobby right now, so they're just going to leave it here. Vizzy is cloaked near the corner. They can make a play on this with Demento. Looking for this decloak here. Here it comes. Gun. Ooh, stab onto the soldier and snipe onto the energy. Perfect. There's Krusty Krab getting the flank shut down.
That's great. And yeah, Penguin not able to whip around fast enough to deal with Vizzy as the, or maybe even Aaron not fast enough to make the calm. But at this point now,
but he wasn't disguised.
sorry, what happened?
Vizzy went for the sap on the gun, but he wasn't disguised.
Oh no, you hate to see it. Well,
But it's been a long night.
yeah, probably a little consequence, luckily for him, but a good laugh to have. Well, MCM haven't found their way yet into B, but here comes the sap by Evil. He was disguised, and there goes the gun. Uber comes in late now for MCM, but Kresnik is going to get the bulk of the Uber and just make sure he can push MCM back towards spawn.
He's going to get out there. Nice start from him to get out without taking too much damage. Bomb in from JJ up top. Going to do a lot to Zuki, and he gets the pack as well. So JJ going to be able to rebomb. Triple and Watterson going down on this side. So that's going to be a clean hold. But on the back end, Penguin bombing in. One rocket, two, but can't get any kills off. Will get taken down by the level 1 of Exa. Aaron is on his flank here, so at least they synced it this time. Going to try to find anything. Can't get any kills. JJ went down to a reflect rocket, but other than that, no casualties for Krusty Krab. Perfect hold at this point.
Yeah, they're looking real good. Kresnik relatively low, down under 90, not getting an arrow or heals just yet, but he's going to be fine because MCM aren't able to really push too much off of that. We're kind of seeing the same thing happen as last time. MCM did have quite a bit of time before they were able to get into B, and maybe now with Kresnik going down and Rogue at 100%, this is their chance.
Yeah, looks like they're posturing around the entrance to B main right now. RJ gonna get buffed on his side. On the flank, by the way, Triple took down Vizzy, so that's gonna be room for those people as he's gonna start being capped out. But Uber being popped onto B, counter in from the side of Krusty Krab. Billy trying to reflect back, gets a lot in as Syeth gets cleanup kills onto Zuki and Watterson. Big play by him in this combo as all their players are still here. Marty gonna drop as well. Just a second, a fifth for Syeth, and the hold is up. But on the other side, yep. Worrying.
Oh wow, yeah, good call. More than halfway at this point. Now, I think if you're MCM, maybe you throw your entire weight behind this.
He walked out of the spawn shutter. How do you let him stab Aaron? Oh, but on the back end, Evil double killed Demento and Jarrett going down. That Candy duo has been dropped, and that's going to be B capped for MCM. That distraction was exactly what they needed.
And not only that, if you can keep a little bit of pressure on E, there's so much cap time that look, Syeth, Vizzy, and JJ had to go all the way out towards A. So there's actually maybe there's a moment they can get on C right now. It's completely free. Oh, here comes the respawn out. If they're fast enough, maybe, but Kresnik is posting up.
Watterson's posted on this side as well. He misses a shot though, so gonna be KND Krusty Krab getting out onto C here. Walking forward, Kresnik getting the shot. No! RJ, he's gonna go into the pit. Exa getting the last hit onto that one as his gun is betrayed. Capture time is almost back to normal on E, but a Heaven Bomb in from Penguin is bound to do work here as he does get Exa. Billy Soros though walking forward at Zuki and Marty and getting those kills.
Yeah, from lower. Just a good cleanup and wipe from Krusty Krab. There goes Penguin. Syeth 8K. Struggle to take him down as always, but now MCM have lost all their positioning. They don't have any players on C, they have no cap time really on E, so they're just left back in Wishbone, wondering how are they going to approach this.
The cliff walk from MCM here with the full Uber. They're going to get the stab onto Jarrett immediately, and Billy went down as well. There's JJ going down, so that's 3 for 0, and that's going to be C under firm control. New management, MCM taking that one. Doesn't look like Krusty Krab want to contest this. Their players are posturing towards D right now.
Yeah, and maybe MCM can get the same thing done where they got pressure on E last round and then were able to take D for free with Penguin taking down Exa and this gun to follow? Oh
Nope.
No. Not like this.
From the mechanical monstrosity over there getting that kill. Oh, okay, goodbye, Triple.
Oh. Yeah, well, that gun is still up and it's going to be a nuisance. MCM can't do anything on E.
Busy. Look at Demento, he jumped on the pointer out to scope Wishbone. Oh, don't gun the pit, he does get cleaned up by Zukima, so not the pit death, but close. Side from the back end is doing a lot of work, as now we do see Watterson is on the spawn. Uber popped that from RJ. Watterson finds that snipe onto Jarrett. That's a lot of forward pressure in for MCM on E here.
Yeah, and here comes the scorch shot. Uber did get used from Blake. I think they wanted to try to contest it, but they just didn't have players to do anything. Penguin already sitting up in heaven takes down Exa. Look at that, half the players down on Krusty Krab now, a ton of players on E. I don't even think MCM are worrying about D, but they've got to make sure they choke off lobby. That's where they struggled last time.
Yep, and here's Krusty Krab trying to make pushes through lobby. A lot of their players are getting stuffed here. Vizzy and Scythe going down. No scout means you have a hard time playing up. Jarrett is on the other side, trying to get spammed through the spawn doors, but this air blast in from the main side doing so much work. On the back end, Rogue and Marty have gone down to the Krusty Krab defense collapsing in. Great play by them to make a multi-pronged attack, and they have kept Blake alive as well. Even if they lose 4, they have position of this, and they have Uber advantage.
Oh, Watterson popping off now, though. Finds Exa and Billy from the window up top. So now Krusty Krab still have a number of players down. They went back to D thinking that maybe MCM...
They have 95%, but they might not have time before they need to get out here. Azuki is forward in this, doing a lot of work to deny. Scythe is trying to run to the point, but air blast in from Marty, making it so they can't get onto point. One more air blast.
They got it!
And that's the cap in for MCM. 645, that's on the fast end of the average.
Wow, and 647, that could be the difference right now as we wait to see, can Krusty Krab win in that amount of time and take the best of 3, or we go into a third half? Alto, what did you see?
Just as the good steel giveth, the bad steel taketh away. You could argue that, you know, Krusty Krab didn't entirely outplay MCM in that last half, yet they still escaped with the win. MCM, meanwhile, just due to the way that Krusty Krab played that, managed to just catch them, and a bit of a lucky break. We saw Marty just happen to get an incidental WM1 kill onto Jarrett before that Uber, and then was able to just air blast them while the rest of the team capped it up. Just, you know, not necessarily the most skilled play, but, you know, when you play a long enough match, some of the breaks have to go your way. And I think it just goes to speak of how even these two teams are, that just minor choices in positioning and which spawn door someone on Krusty Krab came out of just got them that cap when they did. And I mean, with how close it was last time, we're in for another good match here.
You gotta give RJ and Marty some credit though, because they knew exactly where the threat was coming from, and they diffused it appropriately to get that cap up. So we will be into the second half of the second round of Steel. A cap in times 8 for the side of Krusty Krab, and we're gonna see what they do here. Spy Grabbing on the point, having some fun before the match, the round really starts.
Well, as A goes down, there's a number of players actually for Krusty Krab that are gonna go over towards E. So actually more than usual. Demento's there, Syath. We've got Vizzy. I can't even count.
Where's the spy coming?
Triple's hiding in the E spawn. You guys see this?
Oh wow, yeah. And wait, they actually skip E altogether, although that gun goes up in Wishbone.
Yeah, that's the Wishbone. That's X's patented gun, gonna go up, but they
were ready for it.
Yeah.
And Triple runs into it.
Oh no. Well, it's just JJ and the gun at this point.
They're gonna get the sap on it though. Ooh, unless JJ turns around for the spy, sap is on, gun gets taken down, although JJ does win that confrontation against Evil. So all up for Krusty Krab here. Sap onto the main gun on defense here as the Uber's getting reflected. Marty again denying that one from Krusty Krab. And they don't have upper either, so no ground on B to work with.
Well, the E cap starts to go. Watterson's going to be first on the scene. He's going to go over towards spawn, so he's a little bit more protected, but MCM are definitely going to need to send someone else. Here comes RJ. Oh, there goes the shot. Syath down, and it's just Amanda Panda left. Finds Evil, but probably just going to harass at this point, and MCM hold on to B.
Good job harassing Watterson. Watterson's not posted on B, so they know they have an advantage to work with there if he's calling it properly.
Not there either. They gotta push this now.
Yeah, we're seeing the walkout from Krusty Krab. They're trying to get out main, but the gun hasn't been sapped yet. Finally, Vizzy is here, and it looks like his teammates to get heals. Here's the sap in. Where's the spam, guys? As the sapper is off now, as Jarrett's a bit late. Wrangler's on too, so they haven't gotten the gun yet. Finally goes down, but Jarrett gets shredded in return.
Well, Watterson, can he hit the shot? Actually, Syath bleeding from the cleaver has to go back and find something. Here's Exa all the way on C now. Here comes that telly. Sentry starting to be built. 4.5 minutes. We still got a lot of time to figure out how this is going to go, but if this is successful from Exa, that could be everything.
Yep, meanwhile, points capped up a bit of time as Scythe has to drop off. He's fighting Evil right now. Gets taken very low to go get that full pack in the lunchbox area. As front end Uber trade is happening, Blake pops first, but the counter is good from MCM. They do get that jump kill. Penguin taking out Kresnik on high ground. Jarrett can't get in help, while the gun does get taken down.
Well, Evil now should know what's going on. JJ kills himself getting that kill onto Evil, but I think Evil would have spotted out the gun. Maybe they're aware at this point. I don't know. I didn't see from his point of view, just from the aerial shot. So again, that could be kind of the wild card at this point. The sentry gun gets a little bit closer, and now it's spotted out, but the teleporter comes into play, and Krusty is behind. Krusty Krab are going to start setting their players.
Yep, here's the Hexagon getting set again, but Zuki peeking it before it's fully set up. Can't quite get it, gets taken down by Spam as Kresnik is now peeking. He takes down Waterson too. Waterson can't find the headshot onto the heavy weapons guy. JJ bombing through here, trying to get the kill onto Marty. Gonna live for now, but the gun's still here. Marty can't push it. JJ safe for now.
And MCM have lost 4 of their players. They're still holding on to B, but they're going to start feeling the pressure from both ends.
Yep, Jared's going to come in. It is getting denied by Marty once again. He's been doing such a good job up to this point denying these Ubers. Jared is up alone, and he gets taken down by an RJ pipe.
Penguin
so a
got
lot of players down.
Yeah, Penguin got Blake, Billy goes down, Syeth busy. MCM are finding all the frags. If they can clean up and get the gun.
Oh, the rocket gets him solo. Rogue is so low. He's 50 HP, but gonna live. Marty keeping his medic alive here. A lot of players trying to contest this gun. Exa gun is so annoying. Finally gets sapped and will get taken down. Exa with the revenge crit, though, gonna take down Evil in return. So
Exa is so low. Oh, well, there goes the big pack. And they don't bother chasing. They're okay just holding B.
This is bad. This is really bad at this point for Krusty Krab. 2.5 through 4, this is very hard to do. They have to start thinking about A to E soon.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that they haven't utilized that exit and exit more. They're just continuing to push B. It's not going to go their way. There goes Waterson, takes down Exa. There goes the sentry. I think now Triple's on the hunt for the teleporter.
Again. Marty's been doing such a good job here. He's getting another denial, more kills. RJ and Marty have been unstoppable on this B defense. Spy caught out as well, and it's a complete defense again. Zuki's the only death, and this round is almost done and dusted. We're gonna have to see A to E from Krusty Krab.
Yeah, and Evil finds the teleporter, takes it out. JJ is already on the point. He's going to bait out the players to come that way, just kind of go lower at this point. And here come the members of Krusty Krab. Now, look, the entire debt could be erased if they have a successful E-hold, or E-push, rather.
But losing Demento doesn't bode well. No sniper to overwatch this. The Uber is into Wishbone here, pushing back this MCM combo, but no one can get on point because Syeth is taking the Uber.
And, Waterson
on a 6k, 7k now, takes down X's gun.
Jarrett in the pit, he falls down as well. I don't know what he was pushed by. And Krusty Krab, their numbers are low. Kresnik by spawn finds 2, but Waterson...
on 3.
Yeah, he just, well, Waterson finally manages to take him out. Still on that AK, we'll have to keep it on that
Billy. He can't walk out.
And Marty's sitting in Wishbone to air blast him to the pit if he walks out of the staircase.
That said, Marty stabbed by Busy. So the B is looking to get capped here, but a minute left. They're going to have to walk through Wishbone here in advance. Here's the combo. Waterson, we got to see Demento. Oh, but Jared's in the pit. No, that's so unfortunate. They can't sticky the door now. JJ's trying to hold it by himself. With 50 seconds left, they need ×3 at 45. And they're going to need ×5 if it gets even lower. Here's the ×5. We got Pain Train on JJ.
MCM, yeah, at this point, you don't care about anything else. You just get your numbers over on E.
Oh, no, Blake drops. It's over.
Yeah, there it is. RJ looking really clean. You mentioned it was a battle of the demos. And with the time ticking down, yeah, Marty's just going to sit on point. We got to sit here for another 25 seconds, but maybe that just means we have time to talk about what happened.
RJ's on a 9K.
You ever had that TF2 center on Swiftwater where you're pushing third and your engineer thinks he's really clever and he goes behind and he puts the tally back on fourth? and then you're like, wait a second.
Yeah, this sucks.
This is awful. I can't do anything.
Yeah.
That's what we just saw Krusty Krab do.
I think
Exa puts this tally behind, and I understand why, because it can create a lot of pressure. But when you send that many people behind and you never make a concerted E push that makes them rotate off, all you're doing is you're splitting your forces. Instead of having 9 people trying to muscle through one choke, you now only send 4 people to muscle through 2 equally bad chokes.
Yeah, and the only thing I think if you're going to put that telly down, you need to wait a little bit and make sure you take very important classes through, like level 3, get everyone behind. It just felt like they brought 2 or 3 players, those 2 or 3 players went down, and then they brought the same players. They never tried anything different, and they just kept taking the back telly, and they tried it for way too long, and it just hurt them.
I feel like Krusty Krab kind of let the creativity get the best of them there. And what I mean when I say that is we saw very good fundamentals on taking B in the initial round where they got upper, control very often. They did a lot of work on B. I feel like every time I was panning over to B, all I was seeing was 3 people getting reflected and sticky spammed in B main. No one ever pushed up top together. No one ever tried to wrap together on the flank. It just seemed like there was really weird decisions being made by everyone, and they weren't together.
And it's bad to look into the past, I know, but because of the butterfly effect, you never know. But if MCM had won that first half and the second half results had been the same, they would have already been champions. But of course, we know in the alternate timeline where that happened, somehow Krusty Krab would have won the second half, and all things are gonna trend back to this final half. We finally reached the climax of this best of 3.
Yeah, we've tied 1-1 in map 3 here.
And Krusty Krab have had multiple chances to close it out going back to Asheville. So here we are, their second, third chance really to close it. Well, at least third chance to win this grand finals. And to force the reset. Is the 4th time the charm?
It's got to be for them, otherwise the season's over. We can take a quick look at the stats here. Big shout out to Penguin. He's been doing so much work shutting down that attack of Krusty Krab. That like entire teleporter spree, flank spree. Penguin was on top of all of that. Second top frag of the server, only second to Watterson, who has taken his lead over Demento and stretched it even further. Demento is getting completely outclassed here. You probably can't blame him. He's tired. It's Steel, not a usual sniper map. Probably not used to it. But this difference is getting really, really big and hard to overcome. If your sniper's bottom scoring the server, the game is hard.
Yeah, I think you broke it down well before when you mentioned that you have to try to create picks on Steel, and Demento, an awesome player, but just not as high level a sniper, given that this is an off class, second class. I'm not entirely sure where it ranks in terms of how good he feels he is at it, but it's just showing that Watterson's experience is coming through. I had a chance to play against Watterson one time on Steel, and we both agreed to use the classic, and he hustled me because he was actually a classic extraordinaire. That has nothing to do with anything. I just want to shout out because that's when we became friends. So my heart goes out, but I'm not biased. Don't get it twisted.
He stole the match and he stole your heart too, and that's what you call a friendship?
Kinda, yeah. He's still a bastard to this day, but you know what? We worked through it.
Yeah, but other than that, another big shout out to the B defenders on that point. The K&D, Krusty Krab, I'm getting switched up the Ks. It's for all intents and purposes, we know who I'm talking about, but they just didn't let themselves take B. It feels like they were playing against themselves that half.
Yeah, and I don't know. At this point, I feel like any analysis we do just doesn't matter. Like, the universe has no purpose. We're all just waiting to heat death of the universe, blah, blah, existential dread, blah, blah, blah. But this has been such a long series that there's so many ways for this to go that even if we say something and it ends up being right, we just, happen to get a good throw, right?
I'm always right, so.
You weren't last week on the predictions.
Hey, I did that on purpose. Anyway.
Sure.
Anyway. On to this, we're talking a bit now, but keep in mind, do not get it twisted. This has the potential to be the last round of Highlander Invite Season 6. MCM 1 round away from becoming grand champions. Krusty Krab 1 round away from extending it to another match next week. It's all down to this, all these hours that we've played tonight. This is the most important round you'll see.
And MCM, of course, going to be starting back on defense now. They'd love a repeat performance of the last one because even when it got down to the crunch time, Krusty Krab were nowhere to be found. Although you have to imagine they're not going to go for the same play, but maybe going for the same play is just crazy enough to work. I would not be surprised by anything.
That's beautiful. That's such a play where it's like, why would you do this? But you can understand why.
Yeah, exactly.
Kresnik snuck past Zukima in upper and takes out the exit telly?
I guess so.
Hats off, right?
That's technically a really important play, yeah, because now if they just force Zuki off there once, he can't get back on, so we might see that coming important.
Sentry jumped up there to put it back down.
Ooh, big play by
high tier engineer. Yeah,
most important play I've seen from this game besides the medic pick on Ashville.
We're gonna clip that, everybody. We gotta make sure we teach.
And here's the upper rush. but I don't know if they know the teleport's up or not. They have Jarrett here, gonna get bombed up by Penguin, doing a lot of damage. Edgebug as well. KresNik has to walk back there, too hurt.
Penguin doing a good job denying, although Billy could be a problem, of course, with the ability to reflect. But still hanging on to B. At this point, there's no pressure to speak of really on E. It's
Spying on the gun, he's gonna find Aaron, so Busy getting that one down. Big play. Jarrett in the front line, but Marty's denying him as usual. The difference is the upper push is in, and it's in big. KresNik and JJ getting those cleanup kills. Zuki and Penguin going down. Watterson cleaned up by the rocket of JJ, and that's how you push B. Where was this last round, Krusty Krab?
That's huge. Only Triple left alive. 14 seconds for the majority of the players. So they'll have a chance, I think, to get to C. But maybe for Krusty Krab, this is an opportunity to try to pressure both points and make them decide. Pick your fate. Do you want to try to hold C, or do you want to stop us on E?
It was a long con from Krusty Krab there. Triple, so ready for exit and running into E, was hiding on B that entire time.
Zuki just traded for Jarrett, which is actually big in the context of this game, so no demo main means it's really hard to spam and get pressure. They're going to get JJ up into heaven as Scythe gets sniped by Watterson. Didn't see where Watterson quite is, but no scout to cat means no pressure. So that's going to be a bit of a reset as Blake is on 90% Uber, as Rogue only at 50.
Yeah, Billy and Vizzy down as well. Right now, Penguin Link is going to take the fight to Amanda Panda up top. That could be an important one just for E, and Amanda's going to win that.
Oh, not anymore.
Oh, yeah, there's Watterson. 100%, as you mentioned, for Blake, so Uber advantage that way. And Krusty Krab look like they want to take it towards C.
Level 3 up for Aaron on E, so that's not an option right now, as they're walking onto C. Cliff, gonna see if they can drop down here and get some pressure. A headshot in, damage onto RJ, gonna have to back up and get heals. Krusty Krab are walking onto the point here. They are gonna have to pop first. Rogue only at 95%. They gotta keep their players alive. Scythe going down first in this exchange, but point is getting capped. Spy decloaking onto Demento. Demento hams him down. Uber trade in now.
And here's Triple into the back line, takes down two. The Ubers were just kind of stalled out on the other side, so Triple made sure that he was able to get something done. But in this post-Uber fight, it looked like it could go the way of Krusty Krab. Zuki manages to stay alive for now, but MCM, I think you're going to have to give up C. Just so much pressure coming in from Krusty Krab, but Zuki does win
getting that kill. That's pretty nice to KresNik, but Watterson shouldn't die here. JJ gets that pick, and that's only 4 live for MCM. Zuki and Watterson kind of having delayed deaths, long respawn timers coming in here. Sticky's in from RJ trying to delay this. Spy in the backline, not going to find anything. Evil taken down, and that's going to be C capped up for Krusty Krab. They're at a 20% Uber this side, but 320 is the fastest pace we've seen through C so far.
Yeah, and Aaron's level 3 gun sitting up on C. We're going to have Krusty Krab with the ability to go anywhere they want. D or E, there's the bomb in from JJ, ready to win this match. Just takes down Aaron, there goes the gun. ×5 onto the point, so MCM need to take this cleanly, otherwise that could be a huge problem going forward. Watterson starting out well, Zuki with another, but how's this fight going to turn out?
A lot of spam coming in from everyone on MCM, Penguin, Zukima, RJ getting tons of kills and damage. But the Uber is popped here in lobby for Krusty Krab. They didn't really find anything as they got forced early. So now trying to get the force onto Rogue, but he's going to hold. Zuki cleaning up Billy in that attempt. And the lobby hold is strong in here from MCM. They're going to get Marty and Penguin back up as JJ and Scythe go down. So no flank. They're going to use this free Uber in to try and get what they can. Going to clean up KresNik, but they can't quite find Blake. So Blake can escape here with an Uber advantage, about 40% when all things are done.
And it's unfortunate because I think they wanted to use that with Triple to chase down Blake. But Triple went down just before Rogue could get that Uber off, so an unfortunate drop of a player, which actually could swing things because now there's a 20% add in the favor of Krusty Krab. Numbers down on both sides, and of course that's going to hurt MCM so much more. They've got to back out. They can't bleed more players.
Yeah, and JJ won the fight onto Heaven, so he has control of that area. No Soldier, no Mini to deny him anymore. Flank is overrun by Krusty Krab eSports. They're going to run into D here and take this for pretty much free. Watterson out of position once again. 100% Uber for Blake to work with, whereas Rogue's only on 70. If D gets capped and they snowball through here before too many spawners are up, this could be done.
Evil takes down Demento, an important pick to find because you don't want to deal with sniper sight lines. As you mentioned, D getting capped up. And this is the hard part for MCM. Look at all those respawns in now, but they've got the long way to go. Penguin going and Aaron going down early means there's no delay, and everyone from MCM needs to go huge in order to block this point.
RJ surfs the stickies onto the point and gonna reconnect with his medic, doing a lot to get the enemy team off the point. Counter in from Krusty Krab, gonna lose Billy Saurus in that exchange. But other than that, not too many casualties so far. Any deaths on MCM are way more damaging than Krusty Krab. That said, Zuki is the first dead, as well as RJ, so these spawn timers are gonna get elongated. Kresnik on point, he's gonna surf up to the rail, keeps that alive, and he gets arrowed as well. Heavy standing tall with Jarrett and Scythe, doing so much pressure here.
Oh, so what's happening with Blake? Oh, he went down.
He went
surfed
down,
up to
but
heaven
even as he was dying, he hit about 6 arrows in a row in Krusty, but it's not going to end up mattering.
Yeah, they got so much healing on point, but they can't quite close it out. That's 50% capped, and at a 5:14 time, that could extend this game a lot. We know how chaotic the Steel E desperation pushes can get, so we need to see if Krusty Krab can sort of regroup and get together. Rogue is going to have a full Uber advantage to work with, and they have lobby control. Krusty Krab need to band together and make this work.
Well, there goes Jarrett. Waterson continuing to have a strong
Jarrett
game.
Just pushed alone in A. His entire combo is Wishbone. He's disconnected. Why?
Well, Waterson too. You mentioned a couple times he's been disconnected from everybody, and maybe trying to put the team on his back too much. Maybe now that they've got to hunker down and pay attention to E, could really start to pop off. Here is Wishbone. Whoa, Blake goes down again. Penguin comes in from behind.
Billy was on A. Billy died on A where his combo was dead, and then he died to a soldier. Krusty Krab aren't in the same place. They're clustered. They need to get together.
This is a problem. I mean, look, they are still setting the pace, but you can't afford to be giving free 30 seconds to a minute when you got the grand finals on the line. But good job from MCM just kind of capitalizing on these as well. They've managed to get into E. Kresnik is forward close onto lobby. Billy goes down yet again. And MCM are going to try to push them out. If they find these picks, it's just going to delay even more.
Double dunks are out from RJ too, so it might be something to watch for.
The full Uber for Rogue. Blake only has 40%. They're going to get on point here. It's the clap that's going to come in through lobby. RJ with the donks is going to come out. Damage from Penguin and Marty going to come in, as well as a cannon kill onto Exa. Demento gets flamed down, so no sniper to worry with, but there's plenty of counter kills. Zukima and Waterson getting cleaned up, and the defensive spawns are much more punishing. We do see a fight, Soldier v Soldier going on the point. Both are super low, and it's going to be JJ winning on that one. Krusty Krab get all the cleanup in the right time, and they have control of the point, but the spawners are in, as are the double donks.
Blake has managed to stay alive, and actually the second triple goes in to go for the kill, Blake jumps to connect back with the combo and Wishbone, and really him staying alive could have secured Krusty Krab this round, because if he goes down, of course...
Oh, speaking of if he goes down, Waterson with a crucial shot. Rogue 75%, and RJ is still getting tanked. Krusty Krab are sacking for point presence right now. They're just trying to get as much cap as they can, but the donks are big. Kresnik taken down, trying to walk up Billy to make some space, but he's very low. Zuki takes down Jarrett in the back end. Marty gets that Uber forced onto the point, but the gun finally gets taken down. It's a full point hold right now for the side of MCM, but their spawns are again worse.
And the good thing for MCM, they're only down 50% on Uber. That might not matter if Krusty Krab are able, to choke him off onto the point. Vizzy coming in for a stab, doesn't find it.
Evil finds the shank onto Blake though, as well as RJ bottling Vizzy.
And a couple of respawns for Krusty Krab, but they've lost so many players.
Where's the spy laughing?
Oh, I think Evil taunted lower. I don't know, maybe after he killed Blake, because I think it was a butter knife. I don't know.
He killed Scythe afterwards. I think he probably taunted
Scythe. Good taunt.
Oh, yeah.
Great taunt, Evil. Anyway, back resetting here. Rogue 85% Uber to Blake's 30. Walking in, Scythe gets sniped by Waterson on that peak. So Krusty Krab need to group up. It's just Billy and Demento on this side. The other combo is coming in into main. Rogue 100% Uber. They're going to pop out here. But preemptive stickies on the door. Look at that bonk by Triple, buying space for his team. They're going to get RJ out here with the gun, doing damage, but there's a lot of spread out players from Krusty Krab.
Yeah, they've managed to kite this Uber, and now they have a 60% ad. There's the
Huntsman.
Getting it. No ad. Penguin again. He looks like JJ on map number 2. Just keeps finding Blake, and there go the players of Krusty Krab. Waterson popping off, finds 2 more.
This is super worrying for Krusty Krab. The clock says 5:12 so far. This is going to be really big. Almost, what you say it's 9 minutes at this point?
It's at least 9. It's at least 9 right now.
Yeah, it's going to be 9 minutes so far, which is not
what
you want. And Rogue has another Uber advantage to work with. They're only 3 down, although Waterson is 1, so that's going to be important to look for. They're walking onto point here. Rogue will not have Uber. It's going to be all about the last second contest.
And trying to get close, RJ going down, good find by Jarrett. That could be really the nail in the coffin. MCM look like they want to go a different way, take it towards D. Yeah, Demento actually finally getting onto the board.
Huntsman arrow?
Yeah, Rogue gonna get taken out in the contest. Didn't
There's
have Uber,
the last
couldn't
minute
get it.
sack. Yeah.
Buying as much time as they can, and that's it.
It's still impressive from MCM that they delayed as long as
Oh,
possible.
God.
10:31.
We needed the Huntsman earlier.
Seriously, yeah, Demento, I honestly has not found much success. Again, you know, you've already heard the story. Don't need to keep putting the asterisk there, but really been having trouble dealing with Watersen on this map. Finally gets on the Huntsman. Maybe he keeps it coming into this defensive
Funniest
half. I
part
don't
is
know.
Demento's actually outscoring Waterson for the first time in a while.
Really?
Yeah. 1 point, but it's there.
Wild.
Demento is not on the Huntsman right now, I can sadly confirm.
Oh, that's a bummer. I mean,
right.
probably the smart play. The Huntsman is fun, but a little random. Dude, 10.5 minutes, we'll know at the very most what's going to be happening.
Yep, it's the last half of this match. 10.5 minutes for MCM to take it through E and cap that point for their title. If they can't get it, Krusty Krab will have to pull out a hell of a defense in order to pull us into another match next week.
Well, the gates finally open. MCM struggled the first time that they were the team to take the second offensive back in the first round, and looking to change their luck now. Waterson, Zuki down early. Krusty gets picked up by RJ, so probably doesn't mean too much because the reset will come in before there's a real push. But still, you wanna find some space on B, and MCM are looking to do just that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see what the MCM E plan is right now. Looks like they got Spy, Soldier, and a level 3 sitting here, as well as the teleporter outside of A. So we're gonna see who they decide to move and when, as the front end is trying to push up to upper right now, upper B.
Vizzy comes in, gets the backstab onto Aaron, so no threat of the NG yet again. Really hasn't had too much success coming in from A. A good job from Krusty Krab to make sure that they deny that every time. But MCM, you know, they need to figure out how they're going to pressure both sides. Oh, yeah, it's a smart play. Demento popping off right now, actually.
Yeah, it's taken down Waterson twice so far. I think he headshot Evil there and got him on the cloak resistance low, so also getting RJ in that one. RJ did a very good job earlier to try to get some spam down, but it's going to be 100% Uber for both teams. MCM's E pressure isn't really there, it's just Penguin, so it's all in the front end right now.
Oh, there's
Make that a
Demento
third
again.
SVS win.
Yeah, apparently he just needed to reset his aim with the Huntsman, and now it started to a god. Well, the Uber is finally coming out from MCM. Kresnik needs to go down early, but actually Blake pops at just the right time.
Ooh, he gets Wrangler targeted, so great play by Exa there to get that Soldier denied, and no one goes down except for the Spy. In that initial defense, Marty, Penguin, and Triple, all casualties on the side of MCM. Waterson now losing a 4th SVS to Demento. Zuki getting spammed out from upper, and this is looking very good for Krusty Krab's defense starting out here.
Yeah, this is the way it needs to go. You don't want to be forced to come in for a miracle hold, especially with that long amount of time. For MCM, no sweat just yet. I think you're feeling okay. You're just kind of thinking, okay, now
Penguin's already on pain
we're
train.
resetting back to an average time. And yeah, Penguin on the pain train. There goes JJ, and we've got some real threats on E now.
Zuki's even crouched below the spawn gate right here. They know Vizzy's out because the shutter open, he's invisible, so people have to get sent back. Demoman and Scout in. RJ and Triple trying to deny this. People jump out. Waterson finally finding the SVS Revenge onto Demento and Kresnik as well. Stab onto B. Exa, the gun goes down. And the B Uber is very successful with those rotations forced out. Textbook push from MCM there. Force the E pressure and then take it for free.
And Penguins in the pit now. Krusty Krab go for the remainder of their Uber to take down the players on E. That's a smart call. It was a real threat. They managed to deal with it, but unfortunately they had to concede B to MCM. So now they've gained a little bit of positioning, and for MCM the choice is theirs. Do they want to go towards C, or are they going to try to split pressure? Of course, I think you've got to try to split.
Yeah, both medics on about 50-60% Uber. We have MCM with their entire combo in Wishbone, except for the Heavy. He's going to be in lobby with his Engineer and Soldier. Zukima been that flank threat almost all night. So we're going to see RJ walk forward, get some spam. Jarrett getting the pick onto Waterson as Vizzy gets stabbed on, or it's a stab onto Triple. So no Scout to contest. It's a slight man ad for MCM, although Zuki will go down in the back end to the Enforcer.
Really big E setup going on right now from MCM with Heaven Control.
And Marty on the point to, just Pyro, get a little bit of time. Here comes the pain train. Got to deal with Syath.
Syath is calling this, so he needs to let his team know that this is very hard for him to deal with alone. And there's the
Triple
Uber
gonna
in response to Wishbone.
Yeah, right now, doesn't look like it's favoring either team. Billy is just gonna WM1 forward. Oh, okay, RJ manages to save his minute. Oh, Blake and Jared, there's only 3 players up for Krusty Krab.
Evo getting so many kills there in that cleanup. Crucial play at the most important time. Vizzy can get flamed down, and it's only 2 up Exa and JJ. Where are they? JJ's in lobby, Exa's in main E doors. JJ gonna get taken down by Watterson. It's time.
This could be grand finals.
This could just be over right now. It's only Exa, and the spawners are here. They have to sack for this, but it might be too late.
Look at that as we watch the final seconds tick down. MCM have finally become invite champions of Highlander Season 6. It went the distance. We had 5 rounds on Asheville. We had 3 halves on Steel, and at the end, MCM pull it out. Congratulations.
It was a 4-minute cap time, dead on. 10:31 to or 4.5, I think. 10:31 to 6:01 is 4:30 even, and that's the fastest time of the night. And if you're gonna take it, that's how you do it.
Decisive at the end there. Their defense was amazing. Their offense just as good with that forced rotation. And whatever happened in the round that they didn't win at the start, you know, sometimes that round you can call it a fluke. MCM take the reverse 2-0 on Steel, earn their championship round, 2-1 grand final score here. MCM are your invite Season 6 champions.
Oh, I mean, if I'm sweating as much as I like, imagine how the players feel right now. Look, I'm not gonna lie. This is probably the best grand finals that I've personally casted, and probably one of the best that I've watched in a very history. Yeah, I would even go as far back to say, like, honestly, one of the best for Highlander. I know there are some great classic matchups back in the UGC days, but this went the distance. We had tough fights. Neither team backed down at any point and just fought it out to the bitter end. And we had an awesome time, and I think the viewers loved it too. They really put on a show for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a blast to just sit here and watch it and just see so even, you know? Just what an absolute, you know, clash between these two teams. And yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of Highlander Grand Finals have been almost a little, you know, here comes the 2-0, right? You know, I think we saw that in a few recent seasons, but really breaking that this time, and I'm glad that, you know, we finally have some new kings on the top.
Yep.
That especially since MCM is probably one of the longest running teams currently existing right now, and, you know, to see them come in, I mean, it was what, season like 15 of UGC where they started? And it's been so long, and they've finally made it to the top, and then, you know, they've beat some really good players just to get there.
Yep, we will have Vox State moving in some people for interviews. Thank you all, 700 plus of you, for watching at our peak. It's been a great turnout here for these grand finals. We know that's going to dip a bit as people need to get to bed. It is past midnight on the East Coast, and it's a very long match. That said, we do have Watterson and Zukima in the bay waiting to get in this interview room for you guys.
Yeah, I think perfectly getting the 2 people that all 3 of us are best friends with, so it should be a good time. I think he's just checking the authenticity of them coming in here right now, but we should have that in a second. And let's get some questions in chat. See if we can get any good ones.
Just looking over the stats real quick. Watterson basically doubled the Mentos frags. Exa doubled Aaron's frags, which is pretty funny.
Rogue almost had a third of the deaths of Blake.
Yeah,
6
Blake
to
died
15.
a lot.
That's really important there. That's the exact opposite of what we saw happen on Vigil. And yeah, RJ 45 and 20, just similar DPM to Jarrett, but really good performance, you know, getting kills and not dying when he needs to.
Yeah, we asked RJ to step it up after Asheville, and he certainly did. That said, we have our interviewees in here. Watterson, Zukima, you guys are now invite champions. How does it feel?
This guy was already an invite champion.
Yeah, what the hell?
Once
I'm just
again.
along for the ride.
Yeah, well,
I'm
this is
glad I
the
don't have to
first
play
time you
batteries
like
up.
mained for one, though, right?
For
They
me?
played K&D.
No, he played for
No,
K&D.
for-
Yeah.
No,
Oh, no,
for you,
for
Watterson.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I've played second once. Like UGC, but that was it.
Well,
This is the
now
first- yeah.
now
you go,
that
you
you made it to the mountaintop, I mean, that was a banger of a series. Honestly, like I'm sweating right now. Our viewers really loved it. Like, so what was going through your mind? I want to go back to Asheville because there was that one round where they used Uber, right? And it looked like they were going to complete it and you guys were going to go to the second best of 3. All of a sudden, there were only 2 players up. What happened, if you can think back to that?
Aaron, like, I think this is when Aaron just, like, flew in and just, like, slapped some people across the face. And then just, like, I think he just, like, 3 shot 3 people in a row. Or, like, just 1 shot per person because they're all hurt. So his aim kind of, like, clutched that round pretty hard.
I have arrived.
And that was
As the evil spy, I believe we have Rogue in here as well. Penguin, the Waddler himself, coming in shortly. I think we've got him up there as well. So boys all getting in here.
Yeah, on that Ashville, you guys were down 1-2. Krusty Krab had 2 match points on that map. They had a match point against you on Steel. So what's the mentality like when you guys are down those rounds? What are you saying in comms to each other when you know that one big mistake could be a bracket reset?
I don't want to play bracket reset. Let's not throw.
Yeah, honestly, it was like
Forehead.
we know how to play the map. Well, debatably, but you just
So-
like don't get too caught up in the moment. You know, just play it like you normally would.
Honestly, our strategy this season kind of stemmed. I took a lot of inspiration actually from Kresnik's old Overwatch team. I kind of thought, hey, we're not doing conventional strats well. Let's just bot out. Let's just try to like play as aggro and as DM heavy as possible, and just like choke people into corners. And because of that, it felt like a lot of teams just like weren't able to handle that. And it only until like the very end of the season and finals here were K&D actually able to, or Krusty Krab eSports able to punish that.
We definitely won the season almost single-handedly because of Zukima. Because no one else on our team can main call besides Zukima. Like Zukima micromanages us to an insane level. And
I didn't do too much. I didn't do too much in finals. People definitely stepped up in finals, especially like RJ.
So humble.
Does by far the most calling, I think. So
You know, it was around like week 2 or 3 when I like got onto heavy. It was really just a change from the preseason, especially because
Oh, I forgot about that. You're on Soldier.
yeah, I was on Soldier in preseason, and I'm not good at Soldier.
Those
And
are dark
no main caller
2
was
weeks.
very hard, so
Sometimes.
I kind of figured around that time, I'm like, hey, if we want to like be good in the season, like, you know, contest for the top, I think we need, like, I just need to step up and try and main call as hard as I can.
I guess so. I think what I'm most impressed about is just, well, so I think one of either Zuki or Watterson mentioned just staying in the moment. That this might have had one of the most tilting starts to start a BO3 I've ever seen.
Yeah,
With
it was pretty
with the 12
bad.
minute
It was
that.
bad.
And I mean, how did you guys come back from that? I mean, that's something where if that's me, I'm shot for the rest of the night. I've got a headache and I'm
This is
turning the map and everything.
MCM's so insanely, like, we're just very, what's the word I'm looking for? Momentum driven. Like, if we start winning, we'll, like, that's our key to just kind of, like,
even if we're losing, we don't
snowball it. Yeah, but we don't tilt. I probably tilt the most out of anybody on the team, because, like, I
It's
feel like when we
only you, I
lose,
think.
my tilting is, like, I feel like we're not listening to my calls, even though we
Okay.
probably are.
When we're losing, when we lost those rounds, like no one on our Mumble like complained or said like we're gonna lose. Like
Yeah,
everyone,
none of that.
Yeah, everyone on our team is so good at not tilting or like making other people sad in Mumble.
Mhm.
Like our team, we're just so good at like believing we're gonna win all the time, and I think that helped a lot.
Yeah, and speaking of tilting starts, we're going to talk about the start of Vigil. You guys also had a bit of a tilting start on Steel in the moment. That came down to literally milliseconds where it was a crazy push. Krusty Krab had full Uber ad. They had people running to the point. It turned into a 1v1 between RJ and Jarrett, turned to Evil trying to desperately get Jarrett off the point, and then in the end, the cap barely didn't go over.
Yeah.
I was mad about that.
Yeah, we were upset about that, but it kind of comes down to just like that was so damn close. Anyways, and this is the second round that we've played on Steel since.
I think if I hit
For RJ.
if I hit both my shots, I might have won the round. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think actually that was RJ's second round that he played of Steel this entire season. Was that first thing on
And the mentality of losing something that close is really just, when you're playing like shit and when your team's playing like shit. And can I say that on the stream?
Yeah,
and
we've lost half our viewers. It's fine.
Too late now.
Yeah, and like you can tell like what you need to change in the moment, and if it's that close and you're still feeling bad about it, then you can realize what you need to clean up, and you'll feel a lot better.
I mean, yeah,
clean it up. You did.
You guys did. Yeah, exactly. That went from a potentially a disastrous first half to a pretty solid second round. I would say a little, still close, but definitely well deserved. And then the last round was just a bit of a massacre.
The only point in that entire match that I felt like, hey, we're on the lower hand and we have a very low chance to like win it, like we're in the underdog scenario, was on that second round of Vigil. I just felt like at that point I wasn't even like putting too much stake into it, like once we kind of were struggling. So like that was the only time. And when you think like that, you're kind of thinking, okay, well, if they win, then they should win, right? And you don't get upset about it. But when it comes down to us playing on stuff like Ashville and Steel, like I know we're like super dominant on those maps, and that they're just playing slightly better than us, and we're playing not that great. So like if we can just like force our hand onto them, we could just flip it.
I think that is a very good summary of MCM season, is forcing your hand onto other people.
Yep.
You did mention the maps there, though. I want to touch on that real quick, since I think most of us on the cast were pretty. The map seemed pretty standard to us. Picking from where you guys came from, we were saying maybe, Krusty Krab had a bit of a weak showing on Upward last week, so maybe you picked that as a tiebreaker. But ultimately, it goes well. But it was clear that Krusty Krab left Vigil up on purpose, right? So. Because it looks
I don't know if they left Vigil up on purpose, but they left Upward up on purpose.
Well, they didn't first ban Vigil, is what I should say here. Where they said we'd more rather risk it on Vigil than risk it on Product, which is, I believe, what they banned. And they put the work into it, right? And I think we saw that come out. So you guys going into Ashville, was there anything specific that you guys did to try to really work on that? I know we talked a lot about how aggressively you were playing heavy, trying to get under their bats a lot and really cause a lot of chaos, which I believe was a Carl spot. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
I have no idea. I didn't watch Carl very much do anything but die.
I mean, I guess that goes to one of your, force your hands into other people. Kind of goes along with that strategy. But was that something you guys did in the regular season? Is that something you planned for this?
Okay, so we always played aggro on Ashville, like throughout the entire season, like we did on boxes. But I kind of started doing that under bats thing this week. That was something I wanted to try to pull out to like just one of those like catch them off guard kind of things. And just pull it out in the most important match.
The farther we walked forward, the more we kept winning, and we're running out of map left to walk on.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure like spawn camping is against the rules or something. So
speaking of spawn camping, Rogue, how'd you do against JJ on that Ashville?
Oh, uncalled for.
Wait, what did you say?
How did Rogue do against JJ on that Ashville?
Oh,
Wait,
listen.
Did you get spawn camped on Asheville?
No, we died 8 times.
Died off quad.
It would have been faster if he just killed me in spawn. He let me walk all the way in before killing me again.
JJ played out of his mind tonight, by the way. On all 3 maps, JJ was just
I couldn't believe it. It was so unbelievable.
It was so hard.
His name probably came up the most out of anyone on the cast.
Yeah, JJ just was like rolling us.
I've never yelled before in Rumble, but I came pretty close on Asheville.
I do want to touch on that too, actually, since we mentioned about how, even though Rogue, it seemed to us like you were dying a ton when you guys ended up winning 3-2. I think you only had 2 more deaths than Blake. And we're talking about how, it doesn't matter if you die 9 times in a round, right? Because if you lose the round, right, you're gonna die a lot necessarily. If you can pull it back together, then you can really come back to start winning it. So I think those 2 rounds you lost on Asheville were really kind of putting you through the ringer a bit there, but definitely in the last few rounds you guys turned it around. Were there certain plays you guys made? What kind of mid-game adaptations? Because playoff Kothas don't have a halftime.
I hope you didn't catch on camera, but at the end of that first round on Steel, when we just needed another second and a half,
I got Uber on died to a mini.
Health. On 1 health, but my teammate said, "Don't Uber us on point. We need a cap." So I just took out my melee and died instantly. But
yeah, you unflashed and died to a mini.
Don't tell anybody.
Oh, we saw it. Don't worry.
Don't worry, no one heard it.
Either way.
Yeah, sorry. I was just gonna ask if we got any more questions for our season 6 champions.
Well, that's us for us to get. I was gonna open up anything you guys want to say, anything, thoughts about the season, thoughts about the match, anything you want to say to your teammates or to any of the people who made this season happen.
I want to say something.
Go ahead.
In my 4 or 5 years of playing this game, I've never gotten a first place badge for anything in any game mode ever. This is my first one.
Dang.
4 or 5 years. I'm very happy.
If anyone deserves it, it's definitely Evil.
I'll echo that too, where I had my first ever competitive match on my first week of my college career. And this week I graduate from my master's program and win invite. What a saga this has been.
Wow. I mean, I guess I'll kind of follow up with Zach because, Evil mentioned 4 or 5 years. I mean, I'd say especially, Watterson, Evil, and Rogue, you guys are kind of like part of the MCM core, I would say, Unfortunately, Bunny can't be here to celebrate with you guys. But I mean, I mentioned that you guys are one of the longest, kind of
tenured
storied teams. And I mean, you guys are finally at the top. What was the journey like?
Well, first K&D had to become garbage, and then every other good team had to die, and then we were able to win.
Yeah, there's no way we would
give
have been
yourself
able
more
to
credit.
No, seriously, there's no way we could have won this season if Candy had that early season roster. They were just the DM on that team was just so high that it was too hard to compete.
A lot of respect to them though for staying alive and for playing these classes even to this level. Like it was not easy, obviously, for us to win this.
Yeah, we probably could have pushed them a little bit, but like I wouldn't have said we would have been favorites to win in any scenario.
I'm being asked to shout out Weeba.
That's a team I haven't heard in a minute.
That's a really old team, yeah.
That's a deep cut.
All right, so if we have any last statements, I'll open the floor. If not, we can get ready to close it out here on this Invite Season 6.
Shout out to Melon.
Shout out to Melon. Thank you, MCM, for fun season. Fun but stressful season. Everybody really stepped it up. Everybody
this is one of my favorite seasons.
Every single person on the team knew their role. Also, shout out to Penguin for coming back after 4 years and just ravaging people.
Just winning.
What is that? Why is that allowed? Penguin comes back he's
after
like, wait,
4 years.
He quit. He forgot that he never won, and he's just like, well, I guess now's the time.
Yeah, he had that one to check off on his list.
Only he had done that back on boat team.
Just
said I'm gonna win, and then won. It's that easy, apparently. So everyone's still watching this. If you want to win Invite Highlander, just decide you're gonna do it. Penguin did it, and you can too.
Anybody else are from the team or even our casters?
I'll give a shout out to MCM. Thanks for picking me up last season, and shout out to Casper for helping me study medic, doing a ton of demo reviews, and to Zukima too, is sitting down in the weeds with me, working on my game, perfecting the craft. So thanks for you guys for helping get me here.
Alrighty, well, thank you guys for your interviews. Once again, congratulations on being the Highlander Invite Season 6 RGL champions. Good luck with all your off-season shenanigans, whether or not you decide to keep playing or to go your separate ways. We'll see, but once again, congratulations. Good game.
And to follow that up, congratulations on winning a 3-half grand finals in Highlander before 1 in the morning. We're all thankful for that.
Yeah, we played the marathon 1 round away from max rounds.
Yeah, all I have to say, best grand finals I've watched in recent memory, in long memory either. And of course, everyone in chat, big shout out to Dolphin, the man behind the scenes. I know you loved our commentary, but you loved the visuals even more. Dolphin is the hardest working person in RGL. I don't think anybody would say otherwise. So please support him with your hearts and support him with your Twitch Primes. There's also, I believe, a production Patreon as well that maybe people should support him on as well. He does a lot of great work, so big shout out to him.
Dolphin should be categorized as at least part-time at this point. If not full-time and deserving of benefits.
Where's the medical care? Where's the dental?
Oh, he definitely needs medical care.
He's gonna need carpal tunnel therapy from all of this. No, he's an absolute rock behind the casting scene for all of RGL. You know, we've got different casters for for Prolander, for Sixes, for Highlander, but he's a constant there all the time. And just again, full season, throw that man some hearts or some if you're a sub, throw him those dolphin blink emotes, because as we all know, the dolphin does not blink.
All right, and with that, we are done here. Invite Season 6 has come to a close. Your champions are MCM. Thank you all for coming out to watch this tonight. We hope you have a good evening, and remember, keep watching that TF2, keep playing it. This game is just getting started in RGL. Good night.